Number 1 Iron Age Booty Daddy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Iron Age Nights. What's going on, everybody? Oh, good Lord. It is another Friday. This is Iron Age Nights number 48, as long as I titled it correctly. If I didn't, you guys can call me out. I've actually done that before. I'm like, wait a minute, it's not that. I've had to go and retroactively change things because that's how things work. Ladies and gentlemen, I am absolutely excited for tonight's conversation. This has been a conversation in the works for quite a while, and somebody we've covered on Comic Shop Wednesday. So if you guys have been there, you guys will have a little bit of a preview of what we're going to talk about tonight. However, I do have a few things to shill really quickly. I did a thing, guys. I have been told for months by members of this community that they want a Drink with Crazy merch. And so I did a thing. I went and I got a Teespring. I wanted to do something other than Teespring, but that's what I can do for now. And so this is the first official A Drink with Crazy merch that you guys can go get. If you guys want to see something else that I can provide, let me know. I will probably be updating it. I'm looking probably monthly. Let's, just so I don't overload things. I do have a couple of different designs for things. So at least for the first few months, I'll probably go in, I'll make new merch lines and so on and so forth. So you guys can have something just a little bit different. I'm very excited for that. And I do appreciate those that went and bought some merch last night, some coffee cups and some pint glasses and some t-shirts. So thank you all, everyone, for that. The other thing that I am absolutely going to shill because I can, and well, my channel, my rules, it's just how I am. But my wife has decided to repurpose her old YouTube channel, and she is going to be talking about her passion in life, which is her bones and the things that she makes from her bones and all of that. So I would love for everybody who is here to go check out the Feral Bone Lady. That is Mrs. A Drink with Crazy, my lovely wife. And she does some really cool stuff, and you guys are going to get to see. It's interesting. It's a very different channel to what I do, but you know what? I love what she does, and my kids get to learn a lot from it as well. So with all of that being said, it is time to say hello to the chat over on Rumble. We've got Gara. What's going on, man? Frequency Studios Publishing, how are you doing? John Delarose. Sorry, not John Delarose. John A. Douglas. Wow, Freudian slip. No Negromancy on this stream, sadly. That was a blast last night. Some guys were like, Royce is going to be a hotep by the end of the stream. I was like, oh, shit, dude, I lost it. Oh, man, that was I have way too much fun on John's channel. Way too much fun. Down in the YouTube chat, we've got Carol Brown. Carol, how are you doing? It is fantastic to see you there. I just can't believe members of the Rippaverse are as active in my small community as they are. That's just baffles me. Animation overload. How are you doing? Raving Dad Gaming. What's going on, man? Horizon Talker. Hello, good sir. Yes, we talked to Horizon Talker a few weeks back, but he's not named Horizon Talker. And that messed with me really bad. I didn't even know he was Horizon Talker until about halfway through the stream. It was awesome. And if you guys want to go check out all of the old Iron Age Nights streams, go over to the Drink with Crazy replay channel, the ADWC replay channel. I'll drop that link down below.
It's a good moment.
Yeah, that was funny. He's like, no, I'm Horizon Talker. And I was like, wait, what? That's awesome. I had no idea. I had no clue. Megatonic Audio, what's going on, man? How are you? RH Snow, hello. I saw that you got your barbecue sauces. I hope that you like them. My wife works really, really hard to make those things just out of this world good.
Fantastic.
So, dude, did you get yours?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah. No,
and more coming.
Yes, I know. I heard. Yay. Evely Music, what's going on, man? My lovely wife down in the chat. Let's see if I can do this right. The fun has arrived. If you guys know that Disney reference. So that is my lovely wife. Resonant One, how are you doing? Christopher D. Brand, what's going on? Darkish Multiverse, what up, dude? It's awesome to see oh my God, it just jumped on me. Why do you guys do that to me? Why? Every week. Trippy Soul, TJ Marquis, what's going on? The Wrangler, how are you? The chat likes to be mean to me by chatting, and then it jumps on me. And Guilty Gearhead, how are you doing? Swift Sword Crush, 10 Cage, Tim Allen, hello, how are you? Man, I hope that I was able to catch up with everybody in the chat. Probably not, because I'm a terrible, I don't know how the things work. But ladies and gentlemen, it is time. It is time to say hello to my fantastic co-hosts this evening. This co-host, this first one, he apparently has a vacation to go on. I don't know.
Yeah,
so he
forbid.
Can't hang out. I don't know why I'm doing air quotes. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him. He's the man, the myth, the legend, the guy who's running IronAge.media, creating Anvil, the anthology magazine.
Anvil.
The Anvil.
Iron Age.
Iron Age. Who
so-called
even knows?
Iron Age. Yeah.
Boy, we've actually heard that a lot.
I was going to say, I was joking, but then I was having flashbacks.
Turns out to be true.
Oh God, sir, how are you doing?
I'm doing. I'm. It's been crazy, but I'm doing well, all things
here.
considered.
He's
so,
here.
Yeah, I'm here, and I'm
not wearing a
right
rebreather, so it's good.
Yeah. I don't. The chest freezer went out a couple days ago. Apparently, vacuum sealed meat will inflate like a balloon if you give it enough time. And
yikes!
It's it was kind of it was a suboptimal day. Let's put it that way. So
that sounds like it.
Yeah, I'm kind of playing catch up here, but everything's going great. One of the things I didn't do today, which I really should have, which was send out updates to the Fund My Comic and Indiegogo folks, which is that issue number 2 of Anvil. The proof is at the printer. They're going to have it printed for me by the time that I get back on Wednesday, and we're moving and grooving. Everything is on schedule. There's a few tweaks that I want to make, but already, man, I'm super proud of the first issue. I love the first issue, but I think there's just so much more polish on this second issue that I hope everybody, everybody out there looking for polished indie works gives it a try. So,
oh, there you go, man. And I will say this, just seeing some of the polished. Seeing some of the stuff. Oh my God. Yeah. I woke up this morning. I didn't mean to,
I accidentally, there was accidental dog pile on that guy, and I don't actually hold any grudge against him. I just think that, people have different standards for different things. You know what I mean? And so, we all gotta work with the customer base that we got, but
that's true.
Yeah, you can't please everybody.
Exactly. But then, by the same token, you can't always please everyone.
No, I absolutely, I don't disagree. Darkish Multiverse for $2 says Baby Royce's present from Jack will be there Monday. Fantastic. Oh, dude. Yeah, and like I said, so Darkish Multiverse, he actually did such a wonderful thing for my daughter. My daughter's birthday kind of fell apart in a weird way. Like, she still had a good birthday, but, you know, we weren't able to have friends over and stuff because other people's lives got busy because, you know, they have a life apparently outside of my family. And anyway, but Darkish Multiverse put on his Jack the Pumpkin King, Jack Skellington cosplay from The Nightmare Before Christmas, had a whole setup, and he actually called in to wish my daughter a happy birthday on her birthday, and it just made her day. And now he is also sending a birthday present to her from Jack the Pumpkin King. So shout out to Darkish Multiverse for helping to make my little girl's day extra special. That is just awesome.
Good man, Darkish.
Very cool.
Yeah, so I super love that. Thank you so much, Darkish. And I'm gonna shout it out like all the time now because it's just that's the community that I would like to say built, but you guys all just kind of swarmed at me, and then you make fun of me, and then I'm like, why? And then every so often you guys do something nice, and I'm like, well, I guess I'll keep you around, and then you're mean to me again. And then right as I think I'm going to leave, you do something nice again. I don't know. It's a lather, rinse, repeat type thing. I don't know how that works. Ladies and gentlemen.
Don't go, baby. We can change.
We can change. Oh, well, I guess that will segue into my next co-host, the man who will absolutely make you change. And by making you change, what I mean by that is he is going to help you change from having that story in your head to putting it on paper and putting it into people's hands. And this is the man, the myth, the legend, Daniel P. Riley of whimsyland.org. How you doing, man?
Doing pretty good. The manga comic adaptation is I'm working on the last 5 pages with my artist Kevin, and he's finalizing them probably by I'd say the end of next week. Then I got 3 pages left and a final spread for the end of the book, and then we're on to figuring out the print and everything.
That's awesome, dude. That's great.
Dude, it looks
super
so cool.
excited, right?
It does look
That's
awesome.
so cool, man. I love it when it pops up in my feed.
It does look really good. My wife actually just got done reading G Sedai tonight, and she loved it. She really did. Like, and I say that being completely honest, because if my wife doesn't like something, she will tell me. And if she didn't like it, I wouldn't be saying this. I wouldn't have even brought it up. I'd have been. Boy,
I would hope she'd tell me too.
Oh, she would. She would. Have you seen how she goes after people on Twitter? Well, when she knows you, it's worse.
But she'd been keeping me updated, so every couple of days I'd get a message. This is really good. And I'm like, that's just so wonderful to hear. It's like fuel, man.
Well, and like some of her favorite book series are no slouches either. I know one of the ones that she said that she read religiously when she was a kid was the Aragon series. So, I mean, if she's saying that your stuff is good, she's definitely got some decent books in her repertoire that she's read. So
that series was a lot of people's gateway to fantasy.
Yeah. No, and it was. A friend of mine, and I was always like, oh, I'll see the movie. And a buddy of mine, a buddy of mine was like, dude, you don't want to see the movie. I'm like, no, I've heard a lot about the books. He's like, dude, I read the books. He's like, you don't want to see the movie. I was like, all right, how about we watch the? I was like, how about we watch the movie and you don't tell me what parts are bad, and I'll just judge the movie. And I'm a teenager. We're like, I don't even know, we're like 15, and I watched that movie. I was like, holy crap, that was horrible. And he's like, right, and I'm like, what the hell was even that? And he's like, I told you. I'm like, was it? And he goes, no, not even. I'm like. Not having any of the information because I wouldn't let him tell me. I just judged the movie as a 15-year-old. I thought it was crap. Bad movie. But ladies and gentlemen, we're not here to talk about books tonight. We're not here to talk about comics tonight. We're not even here to talk about tabletop RPGs. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here to talk about film, making movies, and making music. That's right. I'm very excited for this because we don't get a lot of guys that are putting their creative juices behind creating a movie and music. And tonight we've had some musicians on. But this is a special one because all of this music ties in with the movie that he's doing. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my absolute honor to welcome Jarrod Christman. How are you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm stoked, man, and the honor's mine. Like, thank you so much for having me. This is awesome. It's a little surreal, and it's cool. Like, it's really cool, man. So I'm very grateful to be here. Thank you.
Man, I am glad to have you here. What was it? It's almost been a month ago. Well, maybe not quite a month, or maybe a month. I don't know. Time is an illusion, ladies and gentlemen. But in the illusion that is time, I'm making it up in my head that it was a month ago. And we were doing a Comic Shop Wednesday, which is the show that I do with my supporters every week, where we go over and I just have people just drop their projects in a Twitter post every week. And then I go and I read all those projects and check them out. And when I was able to see the film that you were working on, which is Missouri Breaks, right? Yeah. I think, yeah. Sorry, I actually had the trailer pulled up here, but Missouri Breaks, it's a Western, and seeing what you're doing on what I would imagine is a shoestring budget. And how that trailer broke down. Well, I
like that laugh.
Okay, maybe it's less than a shoestring. I don't know. Maybe he secretly has Warner Brothers behind him. Who knows, ladies and gentlemen? But dude, I was floored. And here's the thing. I'm not a Western guy. I'd say it's not something that resonates with me. And I watched your trailer, and it resonated, and I'm like,
that's awesome.
And that's why I reached out to you. That's why, and I said it on the show, Jarrod, get in touch with me. We need to make this happen because, again, not a Western guy. The only Western that I've ever liked in my life was was it 93 Tombstone?
Yeah.
With Kurt Russell. That's the only.
Yeah, I think everybody likes that.
Some people don't because it's a little too modern Western, but really is the only one that I've ever liked.
Their opinions.
It's one of the best. Like this, that film has one of my favorite lines in all of cinema history.
Which one is it?
It is.
There's so many.
It's right after Wyatt Earp slaps Billy Bob Thornton around a few times, and it gets in his face and it moves in close. It's like, are you going to do something or just stand there and bleed?
Oh, dude, I love that.
Oh,
I love.
Thank you.
Hey,
thank you.
Jerk that smoke wagon and go to work. So
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, and oh man, that movie is so freaking quote. And then just the scene right after that, Doc, I didn't know you was in town. And they go, oh, John,
where you going with that shotgun?
Yeah. Oh, John, I forgot you were there. You may go now.
Shoo.
That movie is so iconic for so many reasons, and it just has so many quotable. I mean, I've got one of the quotes right here. I mean, say when.
They win.
Oh yeah.
You know, and again, seeing what you're doing. We don't get a lot of people that are making movies. I think, guys, and correct me if I'm wrong, we've only had one other person who is a movie director or movie producer on the show.
Christopher.
Yeah, which is Christopher. So you're only the second guy creating a movie. And I kind of want to ask why is it that, you're the second guy kind of in this sphere that we're talking to about making movies? Like, is there that much of a barrier to entry to doing this? And I mean, I'm sure there is. I'm sure it costs a little bit more and whatnot. But how'd you get into this? Why? What? I don't know. Just go. Yeah. I'm way too excited for this conversation.
Well, I appreciate that, and I would start off by saying it is barely a shoestring budget, and that shoestring feels like an anaconda. Like when it comes time to pay for stuff. Like I spent a lot of money today on wardrobe, fleshing out some more wardrobe.
Oh wow.
And so yeah, it's I think it's like anything else. Like you you could spend about as much on something as you want to do. It just depends on what your quality threshold is.
Right.
And so I come into this from the music industry, where I've worked pretty much my whole adult life. And so being a part of a bunch of music videos so
that explains why the music video. Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering, I was like, wait a minute, okay. You just answered a question of mine. We'll get to I'll let the chat know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So coming from that, and that's kind of a leg up, and it's just a lot more expansive when you start to stretch those out into a film, even like a short film, or even like what we're doing. We're pushing for 60 to 70 minutes to make feature, quote unquote, feature length.
Mm-hmm.
and it's just a lot. There's a lot of details, and
right.
It's a lot like, Dan, a lot of you guys can relate to this. It's a lot like writing. Like if you're writing a story, you have to come up. There has to be a logic behind. Okay, why is he wearing those spurs? Are those spurs accurate to this period? Would they ride? Does that saddle look right for this time period, and all that kind of stuff? So there's a lot. So I see how it could be overwhelming. Just having the experience on music videos in the music industry is, I think, given me either the stupidity or the tenacity or a little bit of both to try it anyway.
Call it stupid tenacity.
Yes, there you go.
Stunacity.
Yeah, I like it.
There's got to be some kind of like an obscure German word for that.
Right, yeah. There always is. There's always a
Yes.
German word for words that we want to mash together in English.
Yeah.
So
it probably is just the German word for stupidity and tenacity mashed directly together. You're right. You're right.
Most likely.
Stupidity. So, man, why a Western? What about the Western that made you go, I can do this?
Two things. And again, like the film's not finished, so I'm not sure that I can yet.
Right.
I'm still working on that.
I believe in you.
Me too.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Especially after reading his book.
No, thank you, Daniel. I appreciate that, buddy. I really do. Yeah. For those of you who don't know in the chat or whoever's watching, like Daniel, I also wrote a fantasy novel that is kind of on pause right now because I'm gearing up for this next film shoot or this next shoot we have coming up. But Daniel's my editor. So Daniel and I have previously collaborated, and it was amazing. And I highly recommend him to any author or aspiring author out there. Like, check him out.
Thank you.
He knows what's up. He's very good. So I can't really separate at least this film from the music because it came from the music first. Like the music was first, and as I was in the process of writing the music, or not writing the music, but recording the music, and then in the mixing process, and you start thinking about the next steps. Okay, there's a video. Well, it's like, well, if it's going to be a video, like this feels like a soundtrack to a Western that you'd film in like 1987.
Oh,
so it's like, there might be something there. We could do that. We could do these videos, and then this story, like all three of the songs are part of like a musical narrative, and with just a few lyric changes in a couple of them to make them one cohesive piece. I thought, well, there's a little bit more here than just 3 songs, or just a collection of songs and some cool music videos with guys on horses. And so we ran with it. So I fleshed out a screenplay, and like even today I was over here working on storyboards for this next shoot, and just went from there. Just took it a step at a time, and I couldn't have done anything like any of this if I didn't have an exceptional team. Like I can move the ball so far, and I'm really good at forcing a half-ass product.
Mm-hmm. hey, I know what that's like.
Like,
have you seen my YouTube channel?
It's like by myself.
We all know what that's like.
Like by myself, I'm good at doing something that could have been good. I'm with a team, like I feel like with the team, I feel like 10 foot tall and bulletproof. And awesome. I have a phenomenal team. Like I've got 6 people around me. When I had this idea, there was an instant list of people. I was like, I want to talk to these people. And I got like, here's what I want. Here's what I'm thinking. This is what I would like to do. And this is where I think we could go with this. Mm-hmm. Are you in? And everybody's in. So it's like, oh boy, here we go.
Did you get a no, or was it everybody was just like, yeah, let's go?
Yeah, everybody was in. Everybody was in, and
that's awesome.
We hit the ground running.
All right. So just so everybody knows, like if he can sell it that good, this is a man you can't say no to. And I'm going to play this really quick. I'm probably going to get a copyright strike. Oh, well, or copyright claim, whatever. But dude, I got to show this to people just so you guys have some context. Here you go.
Is this the soundtrack trailer?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is just what was up on Twitter real quick.
Gotcha.
This is all footage you shot?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. That's part of a scene right there that's in the trailer.
I'm assuming that's drone footage there, right? You guys got a drone out, flying it? Dude, we can do sweeping shots like that with drones. They used to have to do helicopters.
Oh, right? Mm-hmm. Lord knows how much that costed.
I love you're doing a lot of static, just still shots to show the moment. Like just big, wide screen, capturing the whole moment. Like, that's awesome.
Thank you.
I'm so excited.
And I think this was the one that I saw.
My personal favorite.
This is great, man.
I fell off that horse so many times.
Well, like, God, who does that remind me of? That voice. That's it's not Stained. It's that's really gonna bother me. But no. So I wanted to put that up so that way we could get everybody a feel for what you're doing, how you're incorporating the music, the actual thing that you're doing to film. And what's really cool is that you're able to film in a way that obviously it's in color. And this is going to sound like a backhand compliment. It's not meant to. But because of the technology threshold that you have with, I'm assuming, the price point it really does give it this old school Western vibe, because obviously the old school cameras just don't hold a candlestick to what we have now professionally. And what's so cool is that you're able to get these cameras that are more on a budget for what you're doing, that give it that feel. Because that's how I felt. Because my grandpa, my dad were watching Westerns all the time when I was a kid. I couldn't stand it. Okay. Couldn't stand it. If I had to watch another episode of Gunsmoke, I was going to lose my mind. But this is that something that's intentional in how you're shooting it, or did I just pick up on something that you didn't intend?
No, that's intentional. I'm
Oh.
I'm a stickler for our frame rate and our ratio, because
Okay.
I cannot stand anything that's shot above that 24 frames a second.
Mm-hmm.
Like it bums me out. And
don't watch my YouTube channel.
Well, no, because it's a YouTube channel. That's different.
Well,
like the medium, like the film medium, or a TV show that's film or TV that's shot above 24 frames per second. It stresses me out. I hate it. The human eye does not perceive that much detail on its own, and it looks so fake and synthetic. And I've always loved to have that, I've always loved to see things captured in that total, like, widescreen cinematic feel. Because it just puts you there. It's way more immersive. I remember when the Battle of Five Armies came out, and
like the 48 frames a second or whatever.
Yes,
that was.
yes.
I haven't seen it, because a friend of mine told me, it's not bad, but and I've never been able to bring myself to see it.
Well, my wife and I, we went to watch it. It was because it was right after we moved to Idaho, and we went to watch it and didn't realize what we were in real 3D, and the thing was filmed at 48 frames per second. And it broke my immersion the entire time. And I am a hardcore Tolkien and Peter Jackson trilogy junkie. And I was so bummed out sitting there watching that movie. I was like, and this is before I really knew anything like why it was wrong, but it was so off. And later I learned, it's like, oh, well, they shot it at 48 frames per second, and 24 frames per second is the cinematic feel. And yeah, so I'm very particular with when we're filming that we have 24 FPS, 235:1.
Well, okay, so talk to me as a total film normie. 235:1. What is 235:1? That's something new to me.
It's the aspect ratio, I believe.
Oh.
And to be honest with you, I don't actually know what that does. I have a phenomenal cameraman and videographer who does. I just know those are the numbers required to make that work.
I love that.
There's a bunch of numbers, like those are the two that I can remember, and I do specifically understand the frame rate and the FPS. I have much more qualified people to handle the rest of those numbers for me, because that's not my thing. That's not my wheelhouse.
Being smart enough to know when you're not smart enough to do the job, and you hire people to do it. I was talking with somebody the other day that said that. No, who was I listening to the other day? I was listening to somebody the other day. It was YouTube wants me to watch the Lex Friedman podcast a lot, like right now. Like, it doesn't matter what I'd be watching a gaming thing, and all of a sudden it's like Lex Friedman. I'm like, I ended up watching this thing, and one of the guys he was interviewing was like, yeah, he's like, no, he goes, I am smart enough to know when I like the smart people that I need to put in place that are better than I am. Like, they're like, he's like, I know how smart I am. I know I'm not that smart, but I'm really good at picking the people who are that smart for that job. And it just kind of, it sounds like you ended up picking some fantastic people for your project that we've talked about them so far.
Oh yeah. Like, yeah, it would be hard. It would be hard to find a better group of people. Like not and the reason I say that is because it's not just their like their professional abilities, their technical abilities. It's that combined with these are people that I actually love being around. It's like I love hanging out with these people. And like this film could suck by the time it's all said and done. And I will have had a blast filming it just because my team is so much fun to do it with. I mean, I don't think it's going to suck, but it might. And I will still be able to say I had a lot of fun doing it just because of the relationship I have with everybody on the team.
So back up, Bryce, back up. Okay. So what is your, what's going to be the, what's going to be the length of time until this thing is done?
Tentatively. I don't know how many. There's so many T's in that word. I don't even know how to do that. Tentatively. I'm hoping for a best case perfect world scenario of a May release. Ooh. May 2024.
And
that's not too far out.
No, that is not.
No.
That's I would like to say, oh, that's a long ways away. No, that's especially
not for filmmaking.
No, it feels when I think about the volume of work that needs to be done between now and then, it feels like it's tomorrow.
How much have you done already?
I'd say we probably have probably 30 to 35% of principal done.
How long did that take?
Honestly, we filmed all the footage we have in three solid work days. Like,
holy crap.
Divided over, there were two. So we shot in an old church, and that was one late morning into early afternoon. We shot the campfire scene in the evening, and that was about 3 hours in the evening. And all the other stuff was shot over the course of a few hours over a few different days. So I'd say probably 2.5 to 3 work days.
Wow.
Well, and that's one. It's a byproduct of being small and having no money to work with. It forces us to be ultra resourceful and hyper efficient. So
that's how a lot of older movies used to be. Like, even if they had more of a budget than you had, it was about being that's why the 90-minute movie was a thing for so long. Is they only had so much money and so much time, and it was, and this plot line is a little nope, done, and it was just a tight, concise storyline written to be exactly how it needed to be told, and and that's kind of where you got the cutting room floor from.
Yeah,
and so it sounds like you guys are kind of seeing, kind of how the how every filmmaker probably starts, and you're seeing the origins of evaluating your time and making the most of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have the luxury of filming digital. If we had to film on actual tape
on silver,
I can't imagine.
Oh my God.
and that's why when you are actually on film, you don't have the luxury of, well, let's do 20 takes to get that one word right where we want it. You just don't have that. And we operate as if we don't have that time. If it's got to be good. And so we will spend spend what time is needed to rehearse things, to make sure we've got the beats, we know where we're going. Here's the mark, here's the beat, and go, action. And before we hit the film, because we know it's like, as soon as okay, cut, you have to move on. You have to keep moving, because you're just, everything's on the clock.
Well, especially because there's only so many hours in a day with the structure that you're doing. You're going to lose light, which is, even back in the old days when they were doing Westerns, I believe the average was 3 weeks of filming. And the only reason they did 3 weeks of filming was because they would lose the light and couldn't manufacture it like modern movies do.
Yeah. And for this shoot coming up, like we have the luxury of necessity. And it's funny to say it, but what I mean by that is there are a few different looks we need, which allows us to have a longer shooting day, because we need some dim morning light. We're going to need some bright middle of the day light. We're going to need that golden hour, because we always try to maximize golden hour. And then we're going to need some dusk and some sunset hues too. And so it's a benefit to be able to do that and not have to change location. Idaho's a big state, man.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's got some of the most beautiful landscape in the country. I mean, the benefit of I guess living in the U.S. is you kind of have your pick of the litter when it comes to what kind of landscape you want to film in.
Yeah.
You know, and so if you had a budget and you go, no, we want to film here, like you probably could, like, you know, you probably could. And I mean, I've not been to Idaho, but I have heard from people who have go hunting and all, and that like been hunting in Idaho. They're like, dude, they're like, it's some of the, and I grew up in the Rockies. I grew up in Colorado.
Okay.
And I no longer live there, but that's where my home is. And I know how beautiful Colorado can be. And I've heard Idaho probably has beat, like I have. I mean, I kind of think where I live now, and just in a particular part of Iowa, has parts of Colorado beat for sure. Just because, again, you've got your living in the U.S., you have your pick of the litter. You know, do you want to shoot in a city? Do you want to find a small town? There's abandoned towns that you can like go pull permits and shoot a whole movie in. Like, it's crazy. Have you had to pull any permits or do anything special? Do any film stuff like? Or
no.
Should I not ask that? Are you doing illegal things? Maybe I should ask that question.
No, it's
we need Sheep City's NDA paper.
Is this an underground?
Yeah. Well, it's like I refer to what we're doing and refer to us as we are guerrilla filmmakers in the guerrilla filmmaking business. Like because we have to be. Like we're small, we're mobile, we move light, we have a small footprint.
So probably not unionized is what you're saying.
No.
I would love to get your opinions on that.
I am anti-union, bone marrow deep.
Oh, yes. God, I love this man.
Dan, it's unionizing is a surefire way to guarantee laziness and mediocrity.
100%.
100%. Sad but true.
Especially, and like I got a real taste of that, like in the touring world, like for live events.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
17 union guys to do what you need 3 guys to do. Mm-hmm. And it takes 17 union guys 10 hours to do what 3 other guys will do in 4.
Yep.
And you're going to pay, and you'll pay all of them top
and
wage.
They do it because they know they can. Well, but if I work this many hours, I get a meal and I get extra pay on and they incentivize, unions incentivize laziness to the maximum. Dude, I worked for energy companies. And I've seen it, man. I had to be in a union, and they didn't crap for me. They didn't crap for me. In fact, it was an uphill battle. Well, no, you've got to do this. I'm like, I know more than this guy. I've been around longer than him. But because here's the other thing you don't know about unions. If you happen to be in good with this guy over here who's been in the union for a long time, that guy can sponsor the laziest person usually is a friend, a cousin, a nephew, a son, and
Yep.
get a higher position for that lazy bastard than you who've been there for years and you work straight. You're the guy who you now have to teach a guy who makes more money than you and who is ranked higher than you. You got to teach him how to do his job.
Yep.
Dude, that used to drive me nuts.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, really?
Yeah, and I just had an email today because I'm on the hunt right now for our prop guns, and so I was emailing this prop house today, and this guy was like, "Well, you got the SAG union and the thing with those union guys and all this the NFA," and I was like, I don't care. Thank you for your time. Have a nice day, sir. It's like,
I know a place you might be able to get good prop guns, but I need to look into that if that's.
yeah, dude, I'm open to suggestions because I played
airsoft.
I do what I can.
I played airsoft for a lot of years, and some of the airsoft places that I went to actually had movie prop style guns on their website. So I just have to look. I just don't know if they still offer that. But
the trick is to find ones that fire. They'll fire a smoke cap or fire a blank.
Yeah.
Like I have a pair of Colt Peacemakers that look great, but they're non-firing. I mean, they look fantastic. You can't fire with any. So they're great for a shot that's not going to be a gunfight, but we have a gunfight to film. So I need lots of pow-pows.
As far as obviously as far as like safety reasons and things like that. I mean, but obviously you guys don't know your equipment things. You're at much a smaller budget, but I've heard with a lot of people, like when you're doing those, you'll do some like movie trickery with like angles and stuff because you just in case of accident, you never want to point something in the direction. Are you guys? Do you guys have to
Baldwin?
Yeah, don't. Yeah. Well, boy, that's turning into a thing, but. Are you guys having to play with those angles for that stuff, or do you guys just have the equipment that or are you guys just making certain cuts or whatever?
We will do both.
Okay.
Well, it will really come down to what everyone is collectively comfortable with in terms of how that scene progresses, because the gunfight is literally an uphill battle between where the main character Bill is moving up a ravine, picking guys off that are shooting at him, and so that in and of itself will, because of the elevation change and to track it. Because the idea is to track Bill POV, like from behind, like an over the shoulder.
That's cool.
And then another one coming up the hill from beside laterally. And so that elevation change through that scene lends itself for those angle trickery. It's like, pow, it's like you're instead of you're here, but from that camera angle, it looks like you're shooting him right in the face.
Yeah. That's cool. I love the behind the scenes stuff so much.
Dude, right?
Dude. So the movie that got me into the behind the scenes, I actually still have it. I have the release version of it. It was the Sam Raimi Spider-Man 2. It came out on my birthday. The 10 hours of special feature. I watched all 10 hours of it. Storyboarding, everything. I love behind the scenes stuff.
Same.
And okay, do you have somebody there taking some behind the scenes stuff with you guys, even if it's not much? Do you have any behind the scenes things that you guys are working on or doing, or?
Yeah, we try to have a behind the scenes camera going most of the day.
That's cool.
Yeah, we have hours of behind the scenes stuff thus far.
That's awesome, man. There is something. What I love about behind the scenes for people who, it's boring. No, because what I love to do is I love to go out, love to watch the movie, and then immediately after the movie is over, so it's still fresh in my mind, click the play button on the behind the scenes, and then you go,
Yes.
wait, that's how they did that?
Yes.
And in my mind, that's where the magic happens, because that's when I go, this is what they actually did. This is what they made me think they did.
Yeah.
And there's something magical when that happens in my mind. And I'm just like, oh, you know?
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. I have watched, I keep a running tally, but I don't have it in front of me, like a written tally. I have watched the appendices of all three of Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings multiple times, front to back without stop.
Yeah.
Like I don't count it. I won't, it doesn't make the note if it's not a continuous front to back watch. Yeah.
And there is something about that. There's something about the behind the scenes for those movies. The other one too that really sticks out in my mind that always stuck with me was the behind the scenes for the first Iron Man movie.
Yep.
The way that they handled flight in that movie, the way that they handled just some of the stuff and how they had to make custom harnesses and how they you saw him, he'd hold his arm here and they'd pop off the red thing and then they'd put on the green screen one and then they'd use that and then they'd blended it. And you realize how much work goes into a lot of that. And
for 2 seconds of a shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Frame
Exactly.
by frame.
It's a 2-second shot. Okay. Right there, Tony. All right. And you're good. And then you see it on screen and you go, wait a minute. That was like 4 cuts and you didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just like, holy crap. And it's why they called it the movie magic. It's God.
I know it's dude, it's so much fun. And like, I never understood this. When people would say, it's like, well, I can't watch the behind the scenes. It ruins the movie. It's like, okay, what, why? Like the story is the story, and then here's how they made the story. Like they're two separate things. Right. It's like the story behind it.
Don't want to know how the donuts are made, man. That's all.
I am going to say something that's going to piss a lot of people off. I feel the same way about people who say they don't like spoilers. I am in my mind. I will go out and I'll actively look at spoilers, and I say if knowing the spoilers ruins my first watch of the movie, that movie has no rewatchability.
Yeah.
That's fair.
If I know the spoilers and I experience that movie and I'm hyped for it and I already know what's going on, that movie has rewatchability.
I love Lord of the Rings. I've watched the complete Lord of the Rings trilogy maybe 3 times in my entire life.
I have you beat.
I you know what I mean? Like maybe
every year.
Like some of my favorite movies are like I've seen them like 2 or 3 times. So I don't know. I'm not a huge movie rewatcher. So like,
not so much.
You don't want to know how many times I've watched all of the Godzilla.
Oh, I'm sure.
Films,
I mean, I know that there's plenty of people who rewatch movies a lot, and I'm no judgment. But my thing is like I rarely watch any movies at all. It's not something I do normally, and so I do not want any spoilers. That's my thing. I want to have the experience as intended. I don't even watch trailers. You know what I mean?
I don't watch trailers. Trailers are so misleading half the time nowadays. I'll agree.
Well,
with
they're either misleading or they're just they like they're misleading in that usually recent like modern trailers just take the only 3 minutes of the movie that you actually want to watch, put it into a trailer and imply that there's going to be more than 3 minutes buried in cool
stuff,
2.5 hours of crap.
And that's different than listening to somebody give a verbal.
I know, but I'm just saying I don't go anywhere near spoilers. If I can help it.
I cannot cite the studies off the top of my head. However, there has been research recently that actually disprove the notion that spoilers ruin stories or films because and they base it off of perceived enjoyment from two groups, one who knew the ending and one who didn't, and the enjoyment was equal in both groups. And I am doing a horrible job relating the data there. So
I'll be the
don't quote me on that.
outlier is what I'm going to be. So
there's got to be some always.
Well, yeah, there's always some, but yeah, and there's some people that like highly disagree with my take about spoilers, but that's how I view it. Like the only time I will care about spoilers. And there's specifically one instance that I can name is if I like, there's something that I want to, I'll just watch. It was, when the Uncharted video game came out. I just played the first 3 for the first time. And the fourth one was like on its way out in like a few months. And, because a buddy of mine let me borrow the first 3 and let me borrow his PlayStation to play them, because I was starting to get back into gaming. And the fourth one came out. And he played it and he's like, dude, it's so good. I was like, yeah, dude, I actually had a video pulled up. I was going to watch an entire playthrough of it. And he goes, dude, please, just for me. He goes, go in blind. He goes, we'll get the PlayStation up there in a couple weeks. You know, like we'll get it was a PlayStation 4. And he goes, we'll get it up there in a couple weeks. Go in blind. And I said, all right, man, I promise you, out of respect for you being my friend, I will go in blind. 4 years later, I knew a few minor details that they gave away in the trailers, right? Which I had already seen. And that was it. I didn't know the story, nothing. And my buddy was like, I mean, if somebody started talking about Uncharted in a live stream, in a video, I noped out of it, because a friend of mine asked me, dude, I loved this game. I thought it was great. I know you don't care about spoilers, but just do this for me.
That's not still the case, right?
No. I've played it.
So I can't. Okay. I was
No.
This Uncharted spoilers here.
No. Yeah, right. No. But dude, 4 years. It took us 4 years to get to that, and then we were like, "What the hell? Why?" Like, just time just kept getting away, and we finally sat down. And he's like, "All right, I'm coming up this weekend. You're playing the game." And we ended up live streaming on the Twitch channel for A Drink with Crazy years ago. But yeah, that's the only time I will say that I will care about spoilers, is if somebody comes to me and says, "Hey, dude, just do me a favor, go in blind," because that's a little bit of a different connection there, you know. But if it's just me and I'm like, yeah, screw it, I'm gonna watch the thing, I'm gonna know what it like. For instance, I knew all the spoilers for the Infinity War, for Avengers Infinity War. Still love that movie to death. I love that. I struggle to find a problem with that movie outside of like some girl power moments, but I love Infinity War. I knew the spoilers going into Endgame. I fucking hate that movie. I hate that movie. I will never. I watched it once. I will never watch it again. I hate it. But just like, but that's the thing.
Speaking of spoilers, I don't want to have any spoilers for your movie, but can you tell us like
spoilers
a little bit more about the plot that we're building up to? Can you give us some I don't know, some story beats and stuff like that might interest people?
Yeah. So the main character, the film is Missouri Breaks, the Ballad of Missouri Bill. Mm-hmm. And Bill is the main character. And
is he based on anyone, or is that purely an original character?
It's all original.
Okay. All right, just curious.
Yep. And the premise is Bill is a Civil War vet who had a really horrific experience in the war, and has never ever dealt with it, and just has tried to has spent most of his life up to the point of the film, has spending his life through the first act of the film chasing adventure, just to trying to as his medication because it's easier than facing his past. And
I was gonna say, when you say adventure, is it like drinking and women kind of adventure, or is it going out and taking jobs you shouldn't be taking, or what?
It's moving to the frontier and moving to the frontier and pushing cows, like working for a cattle outfit, being a cowboy. Because Bill comes from back east. So Bill's from Missouri, fought in the war, went home to Missouri, became a lawman, but always had a thing for Memphis. Moved he and his wife to Memphis, but like the ghosts just keep coming, and Memphis wasn't always cracked up to be. So they move out west, and he starts cowboying. And the idea of the film is how long can a man run from purpose and responsibility before it starts to affect the people he cares about the most. And
I like that.
That's interesting.
And his running comes back and bites he and his family in the ass. And so so we meet him in the second act at a crossroads, and he has to decide. He has to decide if what am I going to set things right and then go back to playing cowboy, or am I going to do what I was made to do?
Oh,
like that.
Thank you.
I really like that. Now, okay, well, you said it earlier, dude. I hope this movie doesn't suck, because that sounds really good.
I'm not sure it can suck with that kind of premise.
Dude, that's a really but man, I love why
the themes there are fantastic. I love the setup. I'm looking forward to seeing it played out, man. Like this is a I don't know. Usually whenever you get indie films, I feel like a lot of the indie films that I've kind of been perusing and whatnot, they kind of take one idea and they just kind of hammer it a little bit too hard. It's kind of a trend that I've noticed in the past 5 years or so. I noticed it earlier than that with like bad horror movies, but they couldn't figure out if they were being ironic or not with their tropes, and they just couldn't escape them. But this sounds like a good, because like one of the fundamental like underlying themes of almost all westerns is old and new, the battle of old and new. And so that plays perfectly into that. I'm really pumped about this. So like, are you funding through Give Send Go? Is that where you're at?
Yes.
Okay. Don't have that link.
I have the link. I just want to make sure that was the primary one.
It was also on the video.
I suck at my job. Okay. We already got that. Okay.
I didn't say that.
You didn't have to.
I was giving you an out, man.
No, you weren't.
Yeah, well, just remember from the other night, Royce doesn't take compliments.
No, Royce is so abused he doesn't know when he's being helped.
Every outstretched hand feels like a beating. What? So, all right. So I've got the teaser trailer pulled up because I like a good host, I should have had it pulled up before, but I didn't, because that's just how I do. I want to check this out. Hopefully, yeah. All right.
Yes.
I'm curious, Bill. How'd a Missouri lawman end up all the way out here?
Back in '62, I rode with Grant. We went through Memphis on our way to Vicksburg. I remember thinking, Memphis is a nice town if it wasn't on fire. I don't mind going back there. After all, I moved home to Missouri, and some damn fool talked me into being a lawman. I didn't see that coming, but I was good at it, wearing a badge and cracking heads. I don't know. I just had an itch, man. Just felt like there was something I was missing. Something else I wanted to do. So I came out here.
How'd you get to running with Shooter then?
I met Shooter in Chattanooga. In lieu of a court martial, he was on disciplinary leave. Most people didn't like Shooter, but we always got along pretty good.
I love the music choice here.
Sooner or later, every man's got to make a choice. On the back end of that choice is where a man finds out what he's made of.
That
I mean, that is impressive. I think that's all I can think of.
Thank you.
Okay.
So damn good. It's fun to watch
Hats
every
off
time.
to Luca Grillo for that fantastic editing there, man. That kid's a
Yeah,
genius.
the editing was excellent.
What?
Obviously, he had great stuff to work with, but it's whenever you have a good video editor putting things together and polishing things, like if you look at the kind of monkey with a stick kind of things I do on my channel versus the trailers that like Jake Calta has put together for Anvil, it's like night and day difference. And like so many things, man, it's like when it's really good, you don't notice just how good it is. But man, that is good.
It's so
much fun to watch every time you watch it. That's so
the
great
thing
about it.
That I know, the thing that I noticed is that, especially when you start getting indie films and people who are fairly new to acting, line delivery generally not the best. You guys are a cut above from people that I've seen do the first films.
Thank you.
It wasn't quite perfect, but I really, really had to look for something that was just a little off kilter. And considering one, I've seen that already. And so the veneer was gone. So I was able to actually, as I'm watching that, I'm going, okay, where's the problem? Can I find it? And it wasn't your line delivery. It was the older man you were. Maybe that was just the way that the audio came through. But overall, I mean, dude, I would say that line delivery on both ends was like 98% there. And that could have just been an audio thing in my ears because I was getting absolutely blasted by YouTube just now.
Yeah, it was pretty loud.
Yeah, I apologize. I tried to roll it down. That's StreamYard, man. That's just how it works. But dude, that's like for the line delivery, that was like 98% there for me. I don't and here's the thing, if I see the movie for the first time, being that close to it, that I don't think it's close enough that I wouldn't even have to. I could just sit back and enjoy, and that's awesome.
That's cool, man. Thank you.
Thanks,
dude.
I like I said, a lot of the times I say things and I'm like, man, I hope this doesn't sound like a backhanded compliment because it's not meant to be. It's just, we're so used to how hyper polished everything is in Hollywood now, which is not actually how people talk. But we're so used to that hyper polishing that when you get down to guys that are just sitting around a campfire, dude, and you're like, and I'm assuming it's your first feature film.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that there and it sounds real. That's the difference. Is it didn't sound polished, didn't sound amateur, it sounded real. And there was a little bit of a hitch there with maybe either the audio or just how I was listening to it, or because I'm an asshole and I was trying to find something wrong. That's also a very. But when it's that damn close, dude, you guys are onto something.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
That, dude, I'm not a Western guy, and I'm excited for this. This is something that I because my dad is a Western guy. This is something I call my dad and say, "Hey, Dad, you need to watch." Like, I would absolutely send this to my dad and tell, "Hey, Mom, make Dad sit down and watch this." And if I ask Mom to do it, she'll get him to do it. But man,
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm watching that trailer and I'm watching all these scenes that you're shooting, everything that you're doing. And the scene that blew me away because of the lighting was, how many times did you guys have to record the match lighting the cigar to get that lighting?
That was about, that was probably 15 takes. There was a lot of faulty matches in that pack, by the way.
Oh God, that dude! When I saw that and I saw how you got the lighting, I went, "That was the worst take of the day," or as far as maybe I'm wrong, but I see that and I'm like, I feel like that was like the last take of the day. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
What's funny is that was tacked on to the end of the day after we filmed the video for Midnight Montgomery.
No shit.
Yeah, because I knew we were going to have everybody. I knew we were going to have time afterwards, and it would be dark. So we finished shooting the Midnight Montgomery footage. We went to dinner, and I was like, "Hey, Luca, let's go down to the pavilion there and shoot this match lighting scene." So and I brought the wardrobe with me on that day, and we went down there and shot it after dinner.
That's cool, dude. Just that, man. Okay, so I technically was right. It was the last take of the day.
It was. Yeah.
I was totally wrong in my context, but I was technically right.
Yeah. We filmed a whole other music video in that day before that.
God, dude. Oh, I can't even imagine. I that's something I've always wanted to do with some of my music, is actually put together like a professional music video with some of my music in the past and stuff that I just the work that it takes to do that. And when I saw the music video that you guys put together, I was like, this is an amateur. Because it's the Iron Age, right? Independent artists and people are doing things and stuff. And I saw the music video and I went, okay, where the fuck did that come from?
Well, he's been doing music for years.
But that's exactly what I was like. All right, he either knows somebody or he knows what the hell and when you got in here and you were like, I was in the music industry, I was like, you can see that stuff. And I, as an amateur musician compared to yourself, but I've been in studio, recorded a few demos, and I know I at least know how hard it is to just do the audio work. And then you have to have a good engineer and a good masterer and all this stuff to actually make it sound the way that, God, I wish my demos could have sounded that good. And then I saw the music video on top of it and I went, we're entering a different level. The people who are a part of this independent movement are bumping the skill level up, not incrementally, but dramatically.
Yeah.
And it's part of what gives me such faith in in really decentralizing entertainment and bringing entertainment back down to just to the people who really enjoy it, not the people who just want to make money off of it.
Yeah. And the timing is right.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
Because this, I mean, between the writer's strike and the actor's strike, that ship's not going to turn around for at least another 2, probably 3 years, maybe even 4, like before all of that is worked itself out. And like, you listen to guys, I follow Chris Gore. I think he's awesome. Oh
shit, Film Threat. I actually I've been meaning to subscribe to his channel lately, and I suck at life. So, and
it's funny. Like I found him. I found him after we'd already started this whole film process, and then here recently he's been like screaming from the rooftops. It's like, we have to decentralize filmmaking, and it's like, we need that indie movie renaissance, to use a pretentious European pronunciation.
It's okay. I have some pretentious Europeans over here as well, but they're honorary Americans. They're good. They're good. I don't know what Okay. When the movie releases, and this is something I should absolutely ask at the end of the show, but fuck it, it's my show. I do what I want. As I tell everybody, because the song always gets stuck in my head, it's my party and I'll cry if I want to. 50, for those of you who are music nerd, you'll get it. But
one of my daughter's favorite songs, amazingly.
I remember do you guys remember did you guys ever have the restaurant Gunther Tootie's, where you guys were? It was a restaurant in like the 80s and 90s, and it was themed after the 50s. And so all the girls were like the 50s style diner gowns, and they had all the 50s, memorabilia all over the walls and stuff like that. I don't know if it was just a Colorado thing, but my sister used to work there. And
in Ohio, it was Cruisers.
Okay, so you had something similar, and they always had the 50s music on.
The stainless steel outside wall diner.
Yes. Yep. And then they had the glass bricks inside.
Yes.
You remember? Yeah, that would like separate the booths and stuff.
Yep.
And like the wind. Yeah. So, okay. So I'm glad to know that, but dude, that it's my party. I'll cry if I want to. I can't even remember the artist off the top of my head now, but that just every time I just think about that. But what I wanted to ask before I went on that whole long
that was a fun rabbit hole.
Dude, I haven't even begun to rabbit hole yet. You don't know my rabbit hole. Wait, that sounds weird. Let's not phrase it like that. Phrasing. All right, so you're going to release this movie eventually. And I want to ask you if we can do a members only with are you the director, or how do you feel? I mean, obviously you're acting in the film. But I would love to do a members only in the Gilded. After the film releases, obviously not a pre-release, but after the film releases, everybody can have the chance to get it. But I would absolutely love to be able to, for those who purchase the movie or go see it or whatever, I'll figure out how to do it. But I want to do a private members only in the Gilded, talk with you, behind the scenes commentary, and
heck yeah, dude.
And
we can do a pre-release. There's no rules here.
Yeah, dude, that would be just for the Gilded members, just for the guys who are the subscriber tiers in my Gilded, to try to provide them because I want to provide them with something that but I don't have time and I can't figure it out. But with what you're doing, man, I just feel that would be really, really cool for a lot of people to sit down, see what you're doing, watch the movie. Everybody can ask you questions. It's a live chat, so everybody can go in, talk with you live right there, ask you those questions behind the scenes. And like I said, it'd just be our own little private movie premiere or movie showing. Dude,
I would
with
love
the creator.
That.
Would that be cool?
I'm so in. I'm so
Dude,
in.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's
Like I for that, like I would like to bring one of the guys, at least one of the guys on my team in for that. Weston, he is both my my guardrails. Like
Right.
he's my guardrails and my footing sometimes. he saves me from myself on the regular.
Right.
Yeah, but
No.
I am so in. I'm so in. That sounds awesome.
Dude, I've been, and that's something I've been thinking about because I was so impressed by it. Again, it goes back to me not being a Western guy. And it's like, you know, and I think it's like the first time, it wasn't the first week, or it might have been like the second or third week you'd posted it in the Comic Shop Wednesday. And I was like, well, he's doing an independent film. You know, we got to check this out. You know, he's got the film trailer out. And I watched it and I went, holy shit. Like, and I'm not a Western guy. I traditionally do not like Westerns. It's just, it's, you know, and how un-American of me, right? Like, it's a fucking Western. You like, you know, I'm French, guys. I'm mostly French Canadian. Like, it's fine.
They're
But
not for everybody.
Yeah, but when I saw what you were doing, I was like, and I've been thinking about this, and I've been thinking about seeing if that would be something you'd be willing to do to bring people in, and we just do like a private, just for like my Gilded thing, and that, dude,
Absolutely, dude.
that like. Just a little private screening for the homies. But
Absolutely, man.
because then they can ask you, they can bounce ideas off of you. They can don't even start with me, Raving Dead Gaming. You're my cousin. You have that blood too. Sorry, my cousin's down there in the chat giving me shit. But
As he should.
where do you release this? How do you release this? Do you know, or is that bridge not quite? Well, I'm assuming you have to think about that even now.
Yeah, it's that's like step 2 of our release process. The first thing we're going to do is put it in the theater here, in the local theater here,
Mhm.
because where the room that we filmed the video for Midnight Montgomery in, that's a working theater.
That's legit.
Yeah. So we will put it in there and just make it a local event. That they have been so gracious to with us, have been so eager to work with us. And then when they saw the quality of what we did, they kind of geeked out and were like, "Oh, can we do more?" And so, and like I want to honor that and you know, support this local art scene here too. And then beyond, and then from that, that's like step 1. Step 2 is to look for distribution and release and go from release that way. And like I'm really leaning towards shopping it to some streaming platforms for a series. Because the way the movie will play out, the movie is chapter 2, 4, 5, 7. And 2, 4, 5, 7 with 3 of those songs are part of that narrative. But the remaining songs, the songs that are not that haven't been released yet, are the fill-in chapters. And so it could, and with some of the elements in the story that aren't showing up yet in the trailer, it lends itself to a serialized program. And so we're going to try and shop it. I mean, what's the worst they're going to say no? Like,
Yeah.
Exactly.
like,
mean,
it's like we will be no worse off if they say no.
That's awesome.
That's something to talk about too. That I think a lot of people, and I don't know, I think a lot of people in at least my audience are not afraid of no, but there are a lot of people out there that are.
Yeah.
And what they don't realize is no just means you're right where you are. That's it.
Yeah.
It just means that you are where you are now. Like, and you can always build up. And how many people have you heard? No, I heard 100 no's before I heard my first yes. And that was the one that mattered.
Yeah.
That was the conversation that mattered. That's the one that made me the man that I am today. But it was those 100 that you guys didn't see.
Yeah.
That, like,
Always.
you know,
absolutely. And I that's something I that I hope, like, by extension of this project, I'm able to inspire in other creators. It's just like, take the risk, take the no. Like, I developed, I had to develop an ultra thick skin out of necessity from working in the music studio where I worked, because my boss was exceedingly successful, exceptionally knowledgeable, and also very, very self-aware about what he knew, what he was good at, and what he wanted. And so you could come with this like, no, that sucks. And it's like, it's not that he hated it. It's just he doesn't have time to sit down and gently tell you why everything was good until you got to the second half of the chorus.
He didn't have the younger millennial. I just really didn't like the way you said that. If you would have just said that to me a little differently. Admittedly, dude, I worst ass chewing of my life that I ever got by my boss was by my dad, who was 2 levels of supervisor above my supervisor. And my foreman came up to me and was like, dude, I've worked with your dad for 10 years and I've never heard him rip somebody like that. Like, it's just people aren't used to that anymore. And the people aren't used to the people that are just, what are you talking about? No, don't do that. That thing that you're doing, that's bad.
And it is such a hindrance to productivity, and to what you can accomplish by being afraid of being told your work sucked, or being afraid no, and being so fragile that you need someone to sit down with you and counsel you about why what you did was suboptimal.
I'm going to say this really quickly, and then I know Richard's got to go because he was a vacation. But I'm going to say this really quickly. The longer you ask somebody to explain no to you, the longer it's going to take for you to get to your eventual success.
Yeah.
If they say make no short, quick, and simple, and then figure it out and go from there. Because the longer that no is, the more time you have to take to get to your eventual success. And I really, really believe that. Richard,
I would say real quick, asking why once, getting that moment of feedback, perfectly acceptable. Just don't draw it out.
Yeah. Obviously, I have caveats to everything I say. You guys wonder why I'm so beaten and battered all the time. Richard, good sir. Guys, I will be right back. I'm gonna run upstairs real quick, but I'll be right back. Richard, I know
Richard's
you have to
shill exit.
This is Richard's shill exit. I won't be here for the shill exit. Richard, I hope you have an absolutely fantastic vacation.
Thank you, sir. You too.
Safe travels. I'm not having a vacation. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you have a nice weekend.
Yeah. No, if I have to smoke tomorrow, I'm gonna smoke some burgers and
not do anything. Now that he's gone, I have control of the stream.
Not gone yet, you dick. Okay, now I'm leaving.
All right. Okay.
Should have given it 5 more seconds.
Yeah, I know. Well, that wouldn't have been quite as funny. Okay, so
we're good.
I will just do this real quick, which is that I have the Gilded, which I almost never shill, but I am going to shill tonight because I never do. And I figured, why not go ahead and mention that Iron Age Media does, in fact, have a Gilded. So if you want to talk to me or interact, you could do so there. There is also Anvil Magazine, issue number 2, which is still available via in demand on Indiegogo. It is really coming together. It's about to go to the printer. I have I'm ordering excess, but if we start getting close to the threshold that I've ordered, then it's gonna close quickly. But it'll be open for a little bit longer. And then once I get done here, I'm going to be setting up the voting for the August prompt submissions. So that will be going up probably later tonight, and you guys can check those out. So
It
as
is so
always-
hard to turn those down.
Yeah, no,
It's so they look. I was like, oh, I want to do that.
yeah, no, I understand. I understand.
They're great,
Figure-
man.
It's a good way for people to get some practice in, maybe get some eyes on their work, get a little bit of feedback if that's what they want to do. And yeah, if you want to support people who are out there building in the public, practicing their skills, there's going to be a ton of free stories there. You can follow that link and check the banner on the home page. So anyway, but thank you, man. I really enjoyed talking to you tonight, and I look forward to seeing this movie whenever you get it made, man.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, dude, it's good. It's good to meet you, man. And like,
Absolutely.
if you're watching this and you don't follow Iron Age Media on Twitter, do it. It's worth the follow. It's great.
Well, thank you.
Like,
This is the reverse shill where they get the,
Yeah.
the guest shills for me instead. This is perfect.
Exactly. But like
And
the community
Richard
needs you
always
guys.
since Richard
Yeah.
always forgets, at Anvil Magazine as well on Twitter. if you
Yes,
want
yeah,
Anvil
that is-
Magazine updates.
Yeah. Anvil Magazine on Twitter. Yes,
Yeah.
that's true. I didn't bother making the Instagram for it, but anyway.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Have a good one. Have a good
Thanks,
weekend.
Richard.
I will not be doing the chill stream, but you guys will survive. So have a good one. Bye.
Enjoy your vacation, man.
Have a good one, sir.
So since it's just you and me, and we haven't
Yes.
actually gotten to cover it yet, before I say anything about the upcoming book, because that's what I'm always interested in, real quick, for those that may not know, I wanted to, get you to talk a little bit about your music background.
Oh yeah. So I was in some bands I was in a couple bands that were a great place for me to learn how to play guitar. And as a result, those bands were not very good because I was still learning what to do. I was really late coming to the instrument. I didn't start playing guitar till I was 19. And all of my peers in the metal world seems like they always started way younger than I did, or they were just vastly more talented than I was. But I was in a band. I was in a band called Corpus Christi. We were on Victory Records. Had a couple releases, a couple videos on MTV Headbangers Ball.
Yep.
And that was phenomenal, man. Like it is something that I was too arrogant and immature to fully appreciate in the moment. Like at the time, and like it sucks to be in the position to have to admit that, but it's true. And so looking back on it, I'm so grateful for what I had the opportunity to do with that band, and for the guys that I was in that band with. Like the recording the second record, A Feast for Crows, was probably the most fun I've ever had in a music studio at any point. And I've been in and out of music studios. I worked professionally in a music studio for 12 years. And recording that record that month up in Massachusetts was the most fun I've ever had in the studio.
I apologize for having to do this, but these do disappear. They go away. 10 Cage just gifted 10 A Drink with Crazy memberships to the channel. Thank you so
Awesome.
much, 10 Cage.
Awesome.
I appreciate you, dude.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And Cage is
And
amazing.
you were on Headbangers Ball?
Yeah, he's in Corpus Christi.
That's
I know. When
that-
him and I first started talking about working on his book, it didn't click. I had no idea. It didn't hit me like the none of it. So I'm working on this book, and then just randomly one day I'm looking at his Twitter feed, and I'm like, wait,
that's
no shit,
dude.
It's so
that's fucking awesome.
it's hilarious. It's hilarious to me to like still come across people who like, especially on Twitter. There's like, I mean, I have no presence on Twitter at all, and like I had a Twitter account in like 2008, and I didn't do anything on it until
Like when it was very first around.
Yeah, and like to a few months ago, like I didn't do anything on it, or like 2 months ago, literally, and people hit me with, dude, you were Corpus Christi, I didn't know. It's like, that's freaking amazing, dude. I can't believe you would know who that band is.
Dude, that was
I'm old enough to be an
old
Headbangers Ball guy. Yeah, you know, it's just
Dude,
what I used to watch that religiously when I was young.
caught a lot of reruns of so we didn't have cable when I was growing up. And as a result of that, I said I might have thrown it away like a year ago. I still had like the TV my parents bought me when it was a 19-inch what is it, Sylvania or whatever, with a VHS player on the bottom and the rabbit ears on top that I had to bend to hell in my basement to get. Well, I would sit there and I would go 01, 02, all the way up until the TV couldn't max out. Well, I found out that channel 033, and you had to type specifically, you had to put that in, was MTV2 on regular broadcast, like no cable necessary.
That's going back, dude.
Dude. Yeah.
When they were doing public. Yep.
Yeah. That was late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
And
what was that, Ricky Rackman?
Oh, dude, I don't even remember. Well, let's see. Dude, that was when like, do you guys remember when Andy Milonakis was still doing that? Then they had, you guys remember like High School Stories, like, because it was MTV2, so it was doing all of like that punk rock edgy like style of television that got a lot of people
was their,
sued.
Test server.
Yeah, that got a lot of people sued, but because there was a lot of like semi-illegal shit that they did. But dude, I remember the Headbangers Ball being on and watching that. It was like Saturday mornings. Like I would watch that stuff, like the top 10s for the weeks. And dude, that's so like, that was the dream back then. I mean, just hold on. But like, she sits over here, dude.
Ooh.
Like I still, this isn't my first.
Is that the EC?
This is the EC. Yeah.
Is it the 400?
No, this is the 1000.
Oh, that's a great guitar, man.
Dude, I
love that guitar.
Bang for buck, LTD. I don't think you can beat them. And my buddy of mine actually sells guitars to now, and even he agrees still to this day. He's like, you get guys that could come in, they want Fender, they want Gibson, because obviously name brand recognition. He's like, but for a first guitarist that wants bang for their buck, he goes, I'll steer them towards LTD all day, because ESP and LTD still care about their product.
Yeah, and that EC 1000 is one of the best Les Paul cuts that you can get. That's not a Gibson.
Oh, dude, yeah, no,
it's so good.
I've checked, dude. Even the lower end, like PRS, don't. Like PRS gets really good once you crack north of like 1200.
Yeah.
But up until that 1200 point, it just doesn't do it, man. But yeah, dude, no, I agree. But yeah, I keep it over here and I practice, a little bit more when I can.
Is that the matte black?
Yeah.
Yes.
This one.
Yes. Oh.
Let's see. My daughter is 9, so this one's 7.5, almost 8 years old.
Oh, I love it, dude.
Yeah, I love this guitar, dude. I love it. I need to clean it up a little bit. It's got I got to clean out the pots a little bit, but I keep it there, man. But dude, that's so fucking, okay. Getting back to your music stuff. I'm geeking out a little bit right now.
That's what she's sliding.
I'm, give me a minute.
Yeah. Put it back on the stand, Royce.
I don't have a stand anymore. That's the sad part. I keep everything in their cases, but my room is disheveled. So, hold on.
Well, what was funny is like talking about Headbangers Ball. We were when our first video was supposed to, the night our first video aired, was when we had RJD and Black Sabbath was the host that night. So I am freaking out. I was like, dude, Ronnie James Dio is going to introduce our video, bro. It's going to be amazing. Like, I'm geeking out inside. Like, I'm thinking this is going to be amazing. And then it turned out it was just like behind the scenes of Ronnie James and Black Sabbath talking. And they didn't interact with the video feed at all. It was just like, hey, we're blah, 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 yak, 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 and cut to video. And
dude,
so I hyped it up in my mind and was disappointed, but it was still cool. It was still really cool.
Dude, that's
Awesome.
That, man. So, I mean, you go back a little ways, good sir. You go back a little ways with a lot of this stuff, and
Dude, I'm old.
it's well, you're not that
As
old.
you can see by the gray.
You're not. It's not that. Well, like I saw the picture for like the thumbnail, and I was like, this dude was lying in the fucking. he was all dyed and like.
Oh yeah.
Man, you look
Yeah, I'm
good
gonna
as
have
a
to-
young man, though.
I'm gonna have to break out the Just for Men
Right.
Just for Men beard for this next shoot.
Right. There you go, dude. But so how much has, from somebody who's worked in the industry, because I've seen it as an outsider and somebody who wanted to do it, man. I wanted to do it so bad. Like younger Royce was definitely, I was not a good husband and father. I was very neglectful because like I'd go to work, I'd work 50, 60 hours a week, sometimes more. And then when I was home, I wasn't even home. I was constantly working on music. I was either writing a song or trying to book a gig or trying to network or like, run social media at the time because that was a thing. And this is like 8 years ago. And it just, the industry just seemed, because everybody always talked about like the big break. And my dumb ass, I was still stuck in that mentality. I realize now that was the mistake. But how has the dynamic of music production and music promotion changed in the time that you've been doing it? Like,
oh, it's unrecognizable, really. Especially, I mean, so there's a lot of unpacking right there because there's several ways. Like there's a lot of facets you can analyze there. In terms of music production, with the exponential improvements we've had in digital recording and affordable gear, gear, recording gear and software, you don't need to rent time at $150 an hour in this $1 million+ studio,
and that was low, and
to get a good sound. Oh yeah. And that's if you're getting a deal. Like if you're getting a deal at a good studio,
in a pro studio, $150 an hour is a good deal. We didn't go for the pro studios. We found some guys that could do it. But I mean, even guys who weren't professional, and we didn't really get a good sound out of what we wanted at all because they didn't. But I mean, we were still paying $50 an hour, and even at that rate, dude, we did 2 weekends, and in order, like we did instrumentals one weekend, and then the second weekend, I had to rest my voice up for 3 days. I sang for 16 hours.
Yeah,
because it's $50 an hour for a cheap for a low bottom end studio, and it was like my buddies were like, dude, is your voice gonna last that long? I'm like, do we have a choice?
Yeah.
I'm like, I couldn't talk for 3 days after that, but it didn't matter.
Yeah,
like and it got to the point where like the last song that I did, I could barely belt a note, but. And you don't need it anymore.
No. I mean, you can with a laptop, the right plugins and maybe one or two pieces of outboard equipment, you can do phenomenal work. And the on the other side of that is everything, I guess the modality of listening to things now, where people, what people are listening to music on, is such a downgrade in actual quality that the overwhelming majority of anybody who listens to music can't tell the difference. Like you get something that's self-produced, in someone's bedroom, and then you get that on a really a very like a top end system, and then you A/B that with something that's done in a comparable studio. You can hear the differences, but when you're listening in your earbuds, you're listening in your car, you can't, like, if you're not a trained studio producer or studio engineer tech, you're not hearing those differences. And so
and
why bother?
For somebody who can hear that, because I listen to my demos ad nauseum, like to the point where I got sonic overload. And like once we said, fine, you're done, master it. I couldn't listen to music for 2 weeks. But it's like, when I tell people in this space, Royce, I want to start my own YouTube channel. What would you recommend for a microphone? And I always tell them this guy right here, SM57.
It's the 57. Yep.
He knew exactly what it was. The 57 with a windscreen. That's what I told Daniel to get.
Yep.
And Daniel was like, yeah, he was like, well, I just need to make sure that I get something good for doing voice work. And I said, hey, the windscreen that you got, it's this pretty small guy. He goes, yeah. I was like, okay, there's a windscreen. If you guys are looking to do voice work for audio books, and want to do some voice acting and stuff like that, get yourself a 57. Get yourself the PreSonus Scarlett Solo, because you guys don't need multi-track. And then there's a windscreen, which is this guy right here. I can't take this off because this has a set screw. Get the windscreen. It's comically large. It is massive. But I am telling you right now, you will not go. You don't need, like, I spent. Do you got it? Do you?
No, I have one sans windscreen.
Okay. Oh, you've got that one. Yeah. I'm talking. The big guy I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, that one turns this microphone. It's like a $30 or $40 windscreen. That turns this microphone into a god tier mic. The Shure 57 is bar none, probably the best dynamic mic I think you can get on the market. I've not heard another mic like it that can get that kind of quality for that price, not for $100.
For the price point, for the price point, that you'd have a hard time finding a more versatile mic than the SM57.
Yeah,
really
I like some AKGs, but I never quite could get that depth out of an AKG. And there's some really good AKGs for around $100, but
did you ever try the AT4033?
No, I didn't. No.
That mic will shock you how good it is for the price point. Yes.
Really?
Yep.
No, I did a lot of research into mics like a while back, trying to find, because everybody, oh, you're gonna do a podcast, you've got to get the SM7B. Everybody does the SM, and you got your cloud lifters and all that
or
shit.
your RE20.
Oh my god, dude,
or your Neumann.
I hate the sound of the RE20, and Neumanns don't get good until you start spending.
Till you get that, you're getting that TLM. that $1,350 baseline model.
Yeah, dude. And it's just, no, Neumanns don't get good until you spend money on them, man. But that's why out of all of the mics that I heard, and nobody did stuff on this, and I really, really like the versatility of this little Aston Stealth here. I like it. But this comes from a singer. I hate the sound of my own voice. Yeah. So I wanted something that made me not hate the sound of my own voice. It's like, no, dude, the SM7B, it's going to capture that clear crystal sound. Yeah, I don't want that.
Yeah. No, that's the studio. That's the old studio joke, right?
Yeah.
Like if you want to get the front man out of the control room, you just solo the vocals. Like,
oh, dude, I had to tell the audio engineer one time, I sang this line and he's like, no, it doesn't sound that bad. I'm like, no, listen to it again. He goes, well, it doesn't sound that bad. I'm like, okay. Mm-hmm. I just want you to know what I'm hearing. I pussed out on that line And as soon as I said it, he listened to it again. He goes, "Oh yeah, you totally pussed out. You need to re-record that."
Yeah.
It was just one of those lines that I was just like, I went for it and you know. Oh yeah, dude. No, like I said, but it's just going back into the cost effectiveness that you can produce unbelievable quality for the price. And I'm a little bit above and beyond right now because I've been gifted some things by friends of mine for Christmas and things like that. And I am unbelievably fortunate to have the friends that I have who've gotten me some of this stuff. And like my mother-in-law, gave me the money to buy this for Christmas. And so I'm a little bit above and beyond. But like when Daniel was asking, I was like, dude, for $250, you can have quality that you could not. You can have quality in your living room, in the seat of power, for that they had in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
For $250.
Yep.
Like and it really doesn't cost that much. Yes, it does still cost a little bit, but it used to. Dude, my dream is to one day have a studio and get rid of all of this digital, the digital post that I have going in, and I want to go analog. But my God, I looked in, like, if you look in the dude, I would love.
Don't tempt me, son.
Oh man, dude, I would love to have an analog wall, like compression, reverb, EQ, just all of it, just mic in, analog out, right into the board, into like because. It's what, 10 grand to do what I'm doing now? Maybe a little less. I don't know. Has analog gotten any cheaper?
It depends. And that's one of those things. It depends on the age of your gear. Like if it's OG analog and old,
oh yeah,
you're gonna pay through the nose. Like the last time I was in Ohio visiting the studio where I worked, he bought this. I can't remember the name of it. It is a 1-channel, 4-rack space, analog compressor from 1961.
Oh,
and he paid 10 grand for that.
Oh yeah,
just that one piece.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But it sounds amazing. Like, oh my gosh. Like he was A-Bing things because we were, it was funny. Like I show up to visit and he's comping a drum track. And so he's like, hey, you want to help out? And so we're going through like these drum takes and like getting like comping this. And he's like, check this out. He's like, Jerry, throw that over in the, I can't remember what it's called, but throw it over in that compressor. He's like, listen to this. And he A-B. It was just so the solo snare was like, what just happened? That's amazing.
Dude, it's nuts, man. It's Megatonic Audio makes a great point here. And I wanted to get, not a super chat or anything. It just makes a great point. You can have great quality for a low price if you do the work to train your ears.
Yes, that is critical.
That is it does not matter the equipment that you have. It like train your ears to hear that sound. Like I've heard from a lot of YouTubers, you watch your videos back after you do them? Yeah. Like what kind of narcissist was? I'm like, whoa, hold on. I was like, pro football players will go back and watch film of what they did so they know what they did wrong and what they can do better. I will go back and I will watch and I will listen really. And man, if there's a video that it just doesn't sit right with me, I'll watch it 10 times. Mm-hmm. Going, what the hell did I do wrong? And try to fix what I did. And a lot of times what comes down to is it's either how I said what I said or it's audio. Yeah. And oh crap, I screwed up the audio. So one of the things I do in my videos is I do a right-left split, right? I do a 70-70 right-left split with my voice. So I got 30% in the middle. Yep. And then, but that's a big thing for me because and I think that's one of the reasons that a lot of people compliment my normal videos is because they're actually getting more of a stereo sound when I put my videos out, because I take the time to at the very least, right left split my voice. And sometimes, depending on what I'm dealing with in the actual audio mix of the video, I'll go in and I'll right left split some more of the music and stuff like that. Sometimes I can leave it centered. But it's just something that I like. It's those little things, training your ears, knowing how to hear those nuances. You don't have, guys, it's $100 microphone. And my buddy, this has been sitting here since my buddy Matt, the guy who started the channel with me, since he came on with the AR13L. And people literally told me, they're like, dude, that microphone sounds better than the one you're on. Why don't you just use that? And I'm like, what the fuck? This is like a $300 microphone versus but it doesn't take much.
Yeah.
And I added a touch of compression to him, and I think I did a little bit of EQ. I did a little bit on the EQ band. And people were like, yeah, that SM57 sounds, actually, let's test something here. All right, so you guys can hear me there.
And then
And now you guys can hear me here.
Yeah.
And you guys, so here's the difference. I mean,
yeah, you can hear it.
Yeah, you can hear the difference. And so, I'll go.
You sound like you're either getting ready to, call a baseball game or introduce the next track on the today's top 40.
There you go.
See,
it's radio.
But that's what the SM57 and 58 were, right? So that, back to my stealth, back to the 57. And it's just, it's that much of a, isn't that nuts, dude? I haven't used one of these in a while, man.
Bond,
and now,
swing and a miss.
Oh, you got to do that. Let's get ready to rumble.
Yeah.
But again, it's
And now for America's Top 40.
Yeah.
And now for America's Top 40 with Casey Kasem. God, I miss that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I miss Casey Kasem too.
But yeah. Oh, dude, I miss Casey Kasem so much, man. I used to listen to his Top 40 all the time. But, just so everybody knows, it doesn't take much. It doesn't take much. Sorry. I don't get to have that conversation with a lot of people, man. That was so wildly off topic for the night. But
it's all good.
Oh, Daniel's just sitting here Daniel did make the mistake of asking you about music. It was eventually going to go to microphones.
So you're saying it's Daniel's fault? Okay.
Yeah,
it's always my fault. It's fine.
No, I'll totally blame Daniel. I got no issues blaming Daniel. It's fine, dude.
Yep. But no, even in the writing sphere, for those that are watching that do want to publish their works and things like that, I go back and read my books every couple of months, because you learn new things and you'll be able to pick more of your early errors out. And one of the great things about self-publishing is you can fix them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think it comes down to people's it's a lack of understanding of motivation. It's like, what's motivating you to go back and read your books, or what's motivating you to go back and rewatch a broadcast? It's like, well, you're not doing it to stroke your ego. I mean, I'm sure some people do.
Yeah.
I'm in a position where I'm on rotation at our church, where I lead the worship at least once a month. And so I go back and watch, and it's like regular practice. Like, we go back and watch the tape, watch the broadcast, because where you thought you nailed it is most often when I was like, oh, it's like when I'm not in the moment and I'm analyzing the moment, it's like, that moment was not good. Yikes.
Do you ever think you nail something? You're like, oh, dude, I nailed that. And you go back and you listen to it and you're just like, that is not how that sounded when I thought have you ever had one of those?
I used to.
All the time.
I used to. Yeah. Yeah.
I still have them.
Now I'm just skeptical of everything.
Dude, I had one of those. I had one of those on a live stream recently. Like, I thought I said something really cool. I was like, oh yeah. I was like, I nailed that. And I was just thinking about it. I was like, I want to go listen to that, because I was like, I think I was like, I'm pretty sure it sounded hot garbage. I was like, that's not how it sounded in my head as I was saying. It was a Sunday coffee. And I went back and I found that part and I was like, because I was like, man, I made this really great point. It sounded so good. And I heard it and I was like, why do people watch this channel? I was like,
why does anyone let me speak? Jesus.
Who gave me a mic?
I was like, this is fucking terrible. Oh, dude, I was mortified. I was like, and the problem is the chat just lets me do it. They don't tell me that I sound terrible.
It's for heckling later.
Oh my!
The chat has to build up ammunition, Royce.
There's like a secondary private chat for the chat where they say, "Oh, we're going to get him on that one."
It's called My Gilded. It actually has happened.
Yeah, there are no conspiracies in this community. They happen out in the open in front of everybody. There's no back channel stuff. We're all just like, let's get him for this.
Oh,
Royce is like, "Hey guys, I'm in the chat right now." Shut up, Royce.
Dude, I have literally gone in and I'm like, "Hey everybody, how's your weekend going?" And like 4 people were like, "Gay." I was like, "What the fuck?" And then somebody goes, "Poor Royce, he just came in here to say hi. Too bad he's gay." And I was like, "What the fuck?"
What did I do to you people?
I don't know. I let them speak. I don't know.
He created a gilded. That's what he did to these people.
God, dude, it's
Brought them all together.
It's funny. I'm still a noob at that, so I don't fully understand it. But I go through and then I read like some of that's just priceless. It's priceless.
It's dude, just think of it. I look at it this way. It's just an AOL chat room. I just look at it like that. It's like it's
absolute madness in a hat.
Yeah, dude, it's an AOL chat room with a lot less predators. Right? Sorry. Was that too far? I'm sorry.
No, it's pretty accurate.
I think it's fine.
Yeah, right. Oh, dude. God, I don't know where to go from here, man. Like,
we've covered his music, we've covered his movie production stuff, but we haven't covered the upcoming book. I've been waiting patiently.
Are you ready to cover the upcoming book?
We could. I was thinking. I mean, I love talking about that kind of stuff. It's like I'm down for that at any time. I also sent. We could, for everyone listening, premiere the Midnight Montgomery video a month or a few weeks ahead of the release if you wanted to. I think
I do not want to put you up to that, but like premiere it as like in the Gilded and like in the.
No, we could do it right now if you wanted. Yeah, dude, like you invited. You have my permission to do whatever you want to with everything I sent you.
All right, guys, guys, what do you say? You guys want to get the special treatment of having the very first look at the Midnight Montgomery video? Like a few weeks ahead of release. That first.
Because we've been trickling that preview out there for a while.
All right. Yeah, you guys are getting a special premiere right now. I have to go find it now. Because I was unprepared. I was ill prepared for this evening, apparently.
Yeah, no, dude, I'm so grateful to be here and just like have this conversation and hang out with you guys. Yeah, you can use that stuff in any way you would like.
Oh, don't give me that. Okay. All right, so I've got 4 videos here. I've got the final. Which is April 19th.
That one.
The final April 19th?
Yep.
All right, let me oh shit, I'm gonna have to pull this up on video player. Can't scan file for viruses. Please tell me you didn't send me viruses.
I hope I didn't.
I might have viruses.
I am not technically proficient enough to tell you for sure one way or the other.
Oh, joy. Well,
And
guys,
this is the stream that kills a drink with crazy.
Oh, joy. Hey, you know that computer I just bought, guys? You know that computer that I just bought?
It's all right. I still have the money I offered you before for another one if necessary.
Oh, God. Dude, if this computer dies, I would have to take it. All right. So here's what we are going to do. All right, I have it pulled up, and because StreamYard is retarded, I actually have to pull this up in a different way to share the audio. So we're gonna go
StreamYard,
there.
get it together.
They're not gonna do. Why would they do that? All right, I need to hide that because that's in my way. Here we go, guys.
As long as we've got sound.
Shouldn't be any yet.
There's whistling.
Yeah.
I don't hear anything.
Yeah, I have no audio.
You don't have audio.
Mm-mm.
I hit the share audio button. Hold on. Why are
Make
you
it
not-
work, StreamYard.
Dude, I hate StreamYard for this exact reason. Like, it's like, oh, you didn't click the stupid button. Fuck, why? The button should be auto-clicked. I literally have it.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Got it. Oh, I'm muting.
Yep.
Midnight in Montgomery, Silver Eagle, Lonely Road. On my way to Mobile for a big New Year's Eve show. I stopped for just a minute to see a friend outside of town. I put my collar up, found his name, and felt the wind die down. And then a drunk man in a cowboy hat took me by surprise, wearing shiny boots, a nudie suit, and haunted eyes. He said, "Friend, it's good to see you. It's nice to know you care." And then the wind picked up, and he was gone. Was he ever really there? And it's midnight in Montgomery. Just hear that whippoorwill, see the stars light up the purple sky, feel the lonesome chill. It's when the wind is right, you'll hear the song, smell whiskey in the air. Midnight in Montgomery is always singing there. Well, I climbed back on that Eagle and took one last look around. Through her tail lights, a shadow moved slow across the ground.
fucking shit, dude. That was fucking baller.
Thank you.
Dude, do you have any idea how long it's been since I've heard good Southern rock? Fuck! Holy shit! SM58s?
Yes.
Okay, yep.
Yep.
As soon as so you guys, I talk about the SM57, the SM58, the microphones they were using for vocals were the SM58s in that video.
Yep.
Dude, thank you. Like, that is unfucking real. Please tell me you're selling physical albums somewhere, or eventually will be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Right now we're licensed for, we have the mechanicals for digital like streaming and downloads, and we have the license for the video. And then if all goes well and we can get the traction to justify it, we'll get some physical copies and sell them physical.
Awesome.
Pritchard Hub says that their kid has been losing his absolute shit for so long tonight, it's making us crazy. But your song calmed him for a couple of minutes. So yeah, you play it again right now.
Oh, is that AC?
Yeah, that's AC and his wife.
What's up, guys?
Yeah, dude. Holy that guys, we just got our this is an Iron Age Nights first. This is the first we just got to premiere a music video.
Yep.
Like
hopefully it's the first of many things. That's because I don't know.
It's a great video.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
I've been listening
did
to
you were the drums didn't sound
so.
the drums didn't sound triggered to me. Were they triggered?
Nope.
Okay. I was like, man, if I'm off on that, you guys are using some hell. I was like, okay, so you mic'd them then?
No.
Oh,
those are all programmed.
What the fuck?
That's what I mean.
It's that damn good.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so I was entirely wrong. I thought I was like, man, if he triggered these and they're not, like, no, those were programmed.
Yeah.
Dude, that kick
Right?
drum, like, I've not heard that outside of a studio setting where it's mic'd. That's nuts.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, dude, I'm geeking out a little bit. Fuck. What program are you guys? I think we had Drumagog is what we had.
I don't
remember what we used.
I do not recall. Because I didn't program the drums. And we would have mic'd them. We would have done them live drums. However, when I wrote the songs and was tracking them, we didn't have Silas. So we didn't have the drummer.
Yeah.
And so that was one hurdle. And then the other, like the studio where we recorded is in Maine. And so like yeah. Worth it though. Like, so I tracked, I record. So Shane Frisbee at Brick Hit House is the guy that produced the second Corpus Christi record, A Feast for Crows. And ever since that record, he has faithfully asked about when we're going to do the next thing, because I think even for him, like that maybe not for him, but for us, that was the most fun studio experience we've ever had. And for him, I think it was up there, maybe top 3. And so we always wanted to work together again. And when I decided I was going to give music one more hurrah, I told him, I got some songs, I'm going to send them to you. And he got him. He's like, dude, let's do this right now. So I was like, yes, sir. I will book a ticket.
Dude. Unreal, man. I'm honored that when you're like, yeah, no, you can premiere a music video on your channel. What the like? Are you sure you don't want to save it for somebody bigger? Like,
No, I'm honored to be here, man.
dude,
I really appreciate it.
Like, you have so much going on. I know Daniel's, waiting to talk about the book. And that's the thing. Dude, you have so much going on. You obviously you've got a film, you have music, you've got a book. You are, running a multi, a multi entertainment, brand.
Yeah, well, that's why I said last week in the.
He's a renaissance man.
But so what was I said last week? Like it's one of the 3-pronged trident. I'm trying to drive through the heart of the mainstream.
Nice.
Just
a friend of mine actually said it best one time. It always cracked me up. He's like, dude, you're like the Dos Equis guy without the money.
Most interesting man in the world without the cash.
Dude, some of the most interesting men I've ever met in the world didn't have a lot to their name, but they had a few more years on you, Jarrod. But man, dude, I'm absolutely blown away, and obviously you have a book waiting in the wings. Or is it already out, or is it? I don't know. Daniel, take over.
I'll let him explain it, but we're still working on it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So the book, I have done all of the major edits. So when I hit Daniel, so it's so cool how life plays out sometimes, because like I heard of a drink with Crazy. One night, I think you did a super chat on Nerdrotic on Friday Night Tights. And
no, I think that was one of my subscribers.
I believe that was Kikoman, probably.
It might, probably could have been Kikoman. Well, Maji Chan's done it too.
Yeah, that's true.
But there was a shout out, or there was a super chat where you were referenced, and Shad, whom I adore that man.
Yeah,
like I love Shad Brooks.
Yeah,
and he shouted you out. He's like, no, Drink with Crazy is great. That's good. Let's check them out. Be sure to check them out, and told everybody. So I did. I was like, yeah, he's right. This is dope. Yeah, I like this. This is cool. And so when I got the third draft, my whole third write through of the novel, that's when I hit you up on Twitter. It was just like, hey, do you have time to look at this, or can you point me in a direction? And you suggested Daniel, and I hit him up the same day, and he got back with me. And
I don't remember that.
What's funny is
I not to be a dick.
No.
Like now I'm a dick.
Well, at that point in time, it's just some random dude hitting you on the internet. Like you did, there's no context. So I take zero offense to that at all.
And what was super funny about the whole thing is that his DM to me actually went into that unread folder of people who aren't following you or whatever.
Yeah.
So I didn't see it at first because I'm so freaking busy. I wasn't paying attention. And then I just happened to go, I should probably check this folder, and I'm going through getting rid of all the Chinese bots that want to talk to me on WhatsApp. And then I see this one just looking for editing service, and I'm like, man, I'm so sorry. This went in the unread folder for some reason, so it took me a while to get back to you. If you want to talk, I'm here, and we did.
Yeah. So I sent everything over, and he sent, well, first I sent I sent like the first 3 chapters, I think.
Yeah.
Over, because that's what that seemed to be the extent of what, because
we were originally talking about you doing some sort of teaser with chapter 1, so I started there.
Yeah.
And then you sent me the rest of it, kind of increments at first, and then I got the whole rest of it to work on.
Yeah. And I don't know, everything like when I got done with the book, it was like an episode of Mystery Diagnosis. It's
Oh
like,
my
it's like
God.
there are
I
things.
loved that show.
It's like there are things, but I don't know what the things mean or are. So I need help, and then it's fun. Like Daniel, all of his notes are like, oh, that's genius. Yes,
Diagnosis Mystery.
exactly.
Yeah.
So like I to like 20 chapters, 380,000 words, and I have not rejected a single note of Daniel's. Like they're all on point. Like and I feel even more confident in the story as a result of it because it was the grind. Like it was the grinding of the blade that really refined the edge, And so, yeah, I really appreciate it, man. And so I have worked through all of the minor stuff that for all 20 chapters. I wrote, as a result of that, I wrote a prologue that we have not connected about yet. I wrote a prologue, then I rewrote that prologue.
Yeah, the second one I haven't gotten a chance to respond to yet.
Yeah. Well, plus you're like editing 100 other books. It's kind of a lot. So yeah, then things to really start to pick up in the last month or two with the film. So I haven't been able to write as much as I wanted to. So I still have one chapter, like chapter 17. Daniel knows exactly what I'm talking about. Chapter 17, like it's a behemoth. And oh, hey Max, no, it's the one thing that I'm still working through. That's the slowest part of it because there's a lot in it, and that lot means there's too much in it. And so it's knowing what to cut. And then I'm trying to accomplish two things at one time, which is requiring the addition of new material and the elimination of old material. And so it was balance. Yeah. And it was just too much. I didn't have capacity to do that and the film. So I've kind of put the book on pause while I'm getting ready for this next shoot. And then once the shoot is over and we've got stuff ready to edit, then I'll get back into my routine with the book. But yeah, the book is the first of at least a trilogy, if not a series, called Twins of Fate. The first book's called Purgeborn. And I tend to talk about the book in questions when people ask about it. It's just like, what would happen? What would happen if the collective power the collective power of souls of an entire genocided people manifested itself in one person? What would that person do with that kind of power? And my question is does power corrupt or does power reveal? And my premise is power does not corrupt. Power reveals, and power reveals the character of the one who wields it. And so you have the big bad of the book. The big bad of the book is a power equal to the protagonist, and it is an exploration of what happens, how the character manifests that power and what they do with it.
It's a really cool character study.
Thank you, dude. I appreciate that.
You got so many moving parts because it's not just about this main character and this villain. He has many characters that each have developmental structures in this story, this overall story, which to my mind, you can obviously tell when you do read it, when it does come out, you can obviously tell his Tolkien inspirations. It's
Grandpa Tolkien.
Yep. it's essentially a sprawling epic fantasy, and it's not dull in any way, and it's not going to be dull by the time we're finished. Because we're just polishing this thing down until it gleams.
Yeah.
Sounds like over on Rumble, you've already got a fan waiting for the book. He says
Awesome.
Garham says power reveals yes. And he says I love it. I've only heard that phrase used in a couple of places before. I'm now extremely excited for this book with that single phrase.
Oh, dude, thank you. That's awesome, man. I love it.
Can I tease one little thing that I love about
by all
it?
means, yeah.
There's a tribal aspect of the concept of the noble savage comes into play in this story, and my initial read through of it, the thought I had was sort of the particular character is kind of like a grown up ish Atreyu from the Neverending Story. That connected me with the characters immediately.
That's cool, man. That's a cool association. Yeah, I love that you picked. I love you pulled that out of there. Like you were able to draw that out of the narrative, because the people that are referenced, but we never see them all but one in the story are this genocided race of people that I took two cultures and smashed them together. And I took Norse culture and American Indian culture and smashed them together. And particularly Plains Indian, the Plains Indian nations. So there's a lot of in the history and the backstory and in a lot of the lore. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of that tribal influence throughout. That's nuanced. I put it in there because it's like, I don't know. Those stories were always important to me growing up, because like part of my family history is our native heritage. And like, I'm the first generation of my family where it's not obvious on my face. Because out of my dad's siblings, like my dad's one of four. He's the only one that looks Irish. Like the rest of them, everybody else, you can tell it's like jet black hair, olive skin. My aunt has jet black eyes, but yeah, dad got all of the Kittle and all of the Kittle and the Bailey.
That's
so
yeah, that's me and my brothers. Everybody before us has obvious Native American, specifically Cherokee features, and my brothers and I were just white guys.
Yeah.
I'm as freaking Irish as it comes.
I'm a Heinz 57 blend of the whitest shit on the planet. Somebody asked me one time, "Are you Italian?" No, not even close. Not even close.
But so yeah, that native, like that native, those native ideas, those like that native influence. It's a part of me, and I hope that it resonates. I hope that it resonates through the story, like in different places, because
it does. And what's great about it is that it's woven into the narrative so well that it becomes both lore and a point of immediate interest for the reader.
Oh, cool.
Because each time it comes up, there's a little bit more that you learn about something that's very obvious from the beginning of the book, that there was this horrible massacre. And the more as you go through, you're experiencing with the character a connection with that heritage. So it's very vibrant, in my opinion.
I love that, dude. Thank you. That's awesome.
I'm excited for when it releases. I'm gonna be telling everybody.
Dude, we have three things to be excited for. Like the guy, dude, I was like, hey, you saw me
Triple
staring
threat.
down for a minute. I was literally like losing my shit. I was texting my wife, like thank you, wife.
Why?
Yeah. Yes. That's amazing.
Dude, I was texting her. I was like,
I like the arm presentation. That was
oh yeah.
great.
Oh no, in every way that she can give me shit, she will. She will. But I was texting her right now. I was like, babe, the show is amazing. I was like, dude was in Corpus Christi. He was on Headbangers Ball back in the day on MTV. Like I haven't even told her about we're gonna get off the show and I'm gonna just be like, babe, oh my god, babe. Like, dude, one, and I feel like an asshole because like I don't remember you messaging me. I usually have a fairly good memory when people message me because I've pointed a couple people towards Daniel. I just don't remember, and that's one of those things like I feel that I should, because it doesn't happen often enough that I shouldn't remember it, and that's why I feel like an asshole.
When you message though, you referenced the point that you at that point in time were swamped, and that like it's like I would, but dude, I'm swamped, and like I just don't have any capacity for it.
No,
like I understood, dude. It was cool, and like it worked out. It worked out phenomenally because like Daniel's dope, dude. Daniel's awesome.
I am so glad that it worked out, and I am so glad that you stuck around and you posted what you were doing for the Comic Shop Wednesday threads, because I always look at those threads, and I'm gonna have to get to super chats and talk with the with everybody, because there's some questions here. And the people are asking. So I want to get to that, but I'll wrap this point up real quick, and then I'll let you have kind of the final point for the night. But with the Comic Shop Wednesday stuff and with what I'm doing here, you said you came to me and I was able to point you to Daniel, and you were able to write that stuff. And I was sitting there smiling while you guys were talking back and forth, talking about the work. And I was like, it worked.
Yeah.
The thing that I want to build this channel for, the thing that I'm building this channel for, it worked. I just heard it. I just said, come to my channel. I want fans and authors alike to be here. I want fans to be able to find the person that they can be a lifelong fan of. And I want authors to come here and find the fans and also find a community that they can help them out. And it worked.
Yeah.
And I am unbelievably honored for that, man. That you took a chance on this tiny channel coming from Friday Night Tights, coming over to this channel. And dude, I unbelievably humbled from that. That is.
Well, dude, me too, man. Like, I mean, I don't have people banging down my door to talk. So like, so for you
should.
It's cool though, for me to have been on, follow down this path, find your channel. It's like this. I like this guy's stuff. This is good. He makes really good points. I like what he's doing. And then to have you, invite me on, dude, I'm honored. And it's important what you're doing, dude. It really is. It's super important. And so for me as a creator, like I know like your mission is to signal boost, and like to have come from especially to have come from the music industry where it is cutthroat. No, everybody's pulling the ladders up behind them.
Oh, yeah.
Like no one's helping you out. Like Corpus Christi only got our record deal with Victory because someone threw a ladder down. And
that's rare, especially back in those days.
Yeah.
1 in a million shot, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And Chris Prophet from Beneath the Sky, like he was another band on that, and he threw a ladder down. And I will forever be grateful to him for that. Yeah. And so I want to do that, and you're doing that. And it's that's why I want to be a part of it. That's why I want to be a part of this. It's like, and like, there's a bigger end game in mind for this film that I'm not ready to talk about publicly yet. We can talk about it in private, but like not in public. I'm not ready to talk about it yet, but I'm looking for ladders to chuck down at people, like, because, and that's why, like, I'm invested in what you're doing here and why I believe in what you're doing, because it matters, dude. It really matters, because nothing in the mainstream operates this way. And it's why the mainstream sucks.
Yeah.
Truth.
Yeah.
It's so homogenized and cutthroat. Like, and there's no alternative. So the voice you're giving to creators, the voice the work you're doing, signal boosting creators, is drawing attention to alternatives that exist for people. And like, they're going to have a reason. The more they hear about it, they're going to have a reason to drift this way and realize, like, oh, I can get great music. I can get great comics. I can get great art. I can get good films. And I don't have to pay anyone in Hollywood or in the mainstream to do it. Like, so thank you. Thank you, man.
Dude, I'm blown away, man. I just unbelievable.
Bryce doesn't handle praise well.
I don't. It's like it's like a silent beating.
He's much better with verbal abuse. So.
It's weird. It's weird. Well, you know, the first compliment my dad ever gave me was a week after I graduated, and he goes, "I didn't think you were going to do it." So, that's not a lie. I don't know. He might have complimented me when I was a kid. I think mom told him to, but the first one that, you know, he did on his own was, but no, dude, just thank you. Thank you for that. Before, I guess before I turn the moment gay, cause I have a problem with doing that. Before I do that, we've got some questions here for you, man. I'm glad that guys, and just so you know, I did save questions of yours, even though if they weren't super chats. I'm not the type of person that if I get a lot of super chats, I don't have, oh God, my wife.
He's reading now.
My wife just sent in a chat, not a super chat, but just a chat. But if we get a lot of super chats to where it's like, okay, I don't know how I'm going to be able to read all these. It's hard to grab just some of the normal chats. The cool thing is on nights like this, when there's not a bunch of super chats coming in that I have to prioritize, I'm able to go in and I'm able to see some of your questions and grab them. It's what I tell everybody. It is the luxury of being a small channel. The luxury of being a small channel. And that's the paradox, right? I have the luxury of being a small channel that I get to interact with my community in this way, but I also want the channel to grow. And that's just something I'm going to have
Bryce
to figure
needs
out
a mod, folks.
I need a couple other things, but that's a future Royce problem. And as I have always said,
for future Royce.
Yeah, well,
boy, I'm glad I'm not that guy.
And you can ask my wife this. I'm the type of person that I have always done. I've always done my best work when my back's against the wall. When life pushes against me, I push back harder and I always win every single time. That's what I do. And when that day comes, you guys will know it. And it's going to be a good day. It's going to be stressful as fuck for me, but it's going to be a good day. So Everly Music over here. This is not a super chat. He just sent this and he goes, "Are the cameras expensive? How can others get on this quality level? Any shortcuts / recommendations?"
Yes. The cameras are not cheap. They're not super expensive either. And like I would also say that it's a lot to do with the process in post. Like, how is it edited? How is it color corrected? How is it color matching? That process is what really, really shines through. Like, you gotta have a decent camera. You gotta have good lenses, and
better than what I have here. You know.
Well, I mean, I get that. So I will say, I do feel a little hypocritical talking about that as a filmmaker, using the camera on my computer instead of like setting up one of the. I don't have the cable to connect the converter to actually set up. But yeah, so we're using Blackmagic Pocket Studios and Canon 90Ds.
Oh shit. Okay, Canon. Those aren't. I mean,
they're pricey, but
they're not. I mean, yeah.
They're not your $6,000
No.
like Sony's.
No, they're not. I mean, dude, there's some Canons out there that'll run you $5,000.
Yeah,
I've seen. I know
yeah.
YouTube creators that use them.
Yep.
Like it's. I mean, this is $150 webcam. It's the Logitech Brio, but I mean, as you can see, like, for $150, it's pretty good, you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
and like Nikon makes some really good cameras. They're, you can find cameras in your price range that can give you what you want. If you have a good post process, like a post-production process. And
you better have somebody good on post.
Yeah, Luca is the one who to really get into the weeds of that, because he's the resident genius for that stuff, and it makes a huge difference. Your color correction, your color matching, and your editing. You can get by with a less expensive camera if you have that processing in place. And like study film, study shots. Like if your image capture is like if your image capture is good, like a really good, a well thought out shot that's framed well, lit well, that has a good post production process, can compensate for a lower tier camera.
Oh, well, I mean, our
100%.
lowest tier cameras today are better than the highest tier cameras when they started making movies. Think about that, guys. There are iconic. One of my favorite movies of all time is The Picture of Dorian Gray. I mean, back in the 1940s, the cameras that we have, and that movie is masterful. If you guys have not seen The Picture of Dorian Gray, the original, don't watch the 2012 remake. God, that was fucking horrible.
Was that Stuart Townsend?
Oh, I don't fucking remember. It was
No, he was. He played the character in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
That's why. Yeah,
I liked the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and I liked that take on the character. It
was very good, but the remake of The Portrait of Dorian Gray was horrible.
Bummer.
The original is.
The original
even the original took some liberties from the story itself, like they always do, but it was really good.
But I mean, the original was told in what, just over an hour?
Yeah, it was really well done.
It was an hour and 15 minutes or something like that, I think was the runtime.
Not even.
Was it not? Dude, it's been so long since I've seen it. Yeah, it's a 1940. Yeah, so probably not. Probably what, 70 minutes? Maybe?
I think at most, yeah.
Yeah, and that's roll credits too, 70 minutes. But no,
the film itself's probably only like 65-ish.
Yeah. I mean, but it's just incredible. But some of the cameras that we have now are it's one of those things that, like, if the channel ever got big enough, I would love, like, one of the sponsors that I would always love, because I absolutely detest the public education system and the collegiate education system in the country for reasons I won't get into now, because I will rant. What I do love, though, is there is a company there is a company out there called Skillshare, and they have so many different things that you can go and learn for a super, super low price. You can get college level education from not professors, from people who have built their own thing and did the thing that you want to learn. A professor will only ever teach you how to be a professor. But you know what I learned? I learned a foreman will teach you how to become a foreman. He'll teach you how to become that thing that you want to do. And that's why I've always, like, if I ever grew the channel large enough, like Skillshare, I've always wanted a Skillshare account to learn proper video editing, to take what I could, because they have classes on the editing software that I have. It's just pricey. It is a lot less than a college education, but it is a lot more than what I have, but it's a little bit more than what I have now. But
I can help you with that.
But stop that shit. But that is the one thing that I would tell people. If you want to learn some of this stuff, I have heard from everybody. I mean, every channel I've ever seen, like, and YouTubers that I watch who I'm like, oh my God, these guys are incredible. And then I find out they're teaching classes on how to do it on Skillshare. And it's like Marquise Brownlee, MKBHT. That guy has some of the best videos on YouTube, and he teaches you how to do it. Just here you go. It's a class. You pay for it. And you get like 3 months at a super low price or something, unlimited class. Like, it's ridiculous. You get college level education for pennies on the dollar, and they make money, and you learn something, and you build yourself up. Eventually I would love to grow the channel to a point where like Skillshare like reaches out to me and says something like, yeah.
Yes.
And they're like, hey, we'll pay you. I'm like, how about you just give me a Skillshare thing and I'll just learn how to video edit?
Keep doing what you're doing, man. You're going to get there.
I do.
Like I said, I can help with that now.
No, stop that shit. My biggest fear is I don't know how to handle, because I really like where I'm at now. I do, because I get to talk with everybody. There's a small level intimacy with my crowd, and it's cool. I see it's part of the reason I don't chat ever. You will have never seen me before in at least the Drink with Crazy account. I think there was one time I tried to say hello to somebody in like a Friday Night Tights chat. This was like when it first started. And the chat was just go,
yeah.
And this was before they had slow mode and all that. And I was like, oh, my chat just got lost. I was like, this is pointless. And it was the one time I ever tried to say like interact with people. So I don't chat with people. In my chat right now, with as small as the channel is, I get to do that. And it's really cool. And so I wonder how I'm going to handle that. But that's, again, a future Royce problem. Right now, I have a future Corpus Christmas problem, which is Darkish Multiverse for $2 says, you should try IFC, the indie film channel. So IFC, the indie film channel.
Is that still a thing? I didn't even know that still existed.
I don't know. Here's what he said. Maybe he's wrong.
Sweet. I am open for suggestions. Send them in. I'm willing to chase a lot of rabbits right now.
I'm starting to realize with where I am at, I need to start making more connections with larger creators so that way I can poke and prod and be like, hey, I know you'll like this. Take this guy. He started on my channel. Take him somewhere beyond what I need to. You just made me realize that. I need a Skillshare account so I can learn how to network. I suck at networking.
IFC appears to still be active. It's owned by AMC.
Oh,
right on.
AMC's not, well, I don't know. It didn't used to be horrible.
It's okay.
But dude, getting in touch with Chris Gore might be.
I would love that. I would love to pick his brain for like 10 minutes. Let me ask questions for 10 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude, I see. Here's the thing: I was a little too young for the G4 TV, but I recognize the prestige. All right. Darkish Multiverse for $5. Being from Alabama, I need an album yesterday. This is when we started playing your very special premiere.
Thank you, man.
Dude, that was that Midnight Montgomery. Holy fuck, that's probably gonna get put on my phone and I'm just gonna listen to it.
I was
Like,
listening
yeah,
to the
man.
songs when they released on Spotify.
That is
So
unreal. Yeah, but we got the premiere of the music video. So sweet. Dude,
But
unreal.
what's funny about that cover is the second verse is an accident. We because that second verse of our version is twice as long as the original because we put the drums to it, and it's like that groove is so good, and we just let it play, and then we realized like, oh crap, we're out of lyrics. So I wrote the second half of that second verse
That's cool.
which was it was cool because I took what Alan Jackson, because that song's about Alan Jackson's this experience he had at Hank Williams' grave, and Hank Williams died of substance abuse, and so I got to add, and that was one of his heroes. So I got to add some of my heroes that also died of substance abuse in that.
I heard that,
and so it was really cool, but it happened by accident.
That's awesome, man. Tubi is another place you could look into. You know who you should talk to?
Chris.
We need to get him in touch with Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll reach out to Chris tomorrow.
Sweet. Yeah, we've got to get him in touch with Chris, dude. Because no, you need to.
He
talk
goes
to
by
Chris.
Christopher Moonlight. He's doing a lot of independent film stuff himself, and he's already had one of his films on Tubi.
Tubi,
So,
Amazon,
cool,
bunch of places.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, so he might have some tips for you.
Sweet.
So Raving Dad Gaming, he sent this in as a chat. I did catch it, but then I don't think he knew that I caught it because I try not to break the flow of the conversation. But he sent this in as a regular chat, and then he sent in a super chat for $2. This is my cousin. He said, Daniel, Christman, advice for writer's block.
Doesn't exist.
Yep. Do it.
So
it is
real quick settle that. Writer's block comes from not knowing where you're going. So if you've outlined, if you know what your story is about, you have your plot points all mapped out, the only thing you have to do at that point is dream. And you dream, you put it on paper. You know, or in it, when I say paper, I mean document if you're using a laptop or computer, obviously. But if you have your map, like even Eric July mentions the Bible, you know, if you have your map to beginning, middle, and end of your story and all the plot points in between, you will not suffer writer's block. Writer's block is a lack of preparation.
Even as a songwriter, or all right, because I haven't done the songwriting thing in a while. How about just as a daily video creator? All I have, apparently we all just froze. That's on your end, bro. I got clean internet here. And I'm actually watching the stream play back. Okay, so as a nightly video creator, okay, I don't script anything that I do. When I go on those long tangents, I went on a 17-minute monologue tonight. None of it was scripted. I didn't know that I was going to get to the place that I got to. You have no idea how much work I put all day. I was thinking about that monologue, and I'm an out loud thinker. The best way for me to isn't put it on the page. It's to literally have a conversation with myself all day about it. Ask myself a question. Answer that. No, that wasn't right. Ask it again. Answer it a different way. Work through it.
Yeah, that's your preparation.
So, that's my prep. So generally, my initial thought, this idea for a topic, that's my ending point. That's where I want everybody to get. Here's my thought. Here's what I think about this situation. How do I get people here with me? And then I have to figure out what my middle point is. Generally, my hardest point is my start. Because doing what I do now, and not just, it's not like writing a song. Like when you write a song, I like bringing people in easy, and then I hit them with a chorus, right? And that's like your middle point. No, you can't do that. In the videos, it's I have to hit them with something snappy. I have to hit them with a point here, now, hook you in, which I probably didn't do that very well on tonight's video, but if you watch the whole video, it all ties together, but I kind of fell back into my songwriter thing. But usually now I try to hit that really nice, solid opening line, and that's the hardest to come up with. So I agree with Daniel. If you've got your map, you should be able to freeform it. If you sat down and you wrote a map, you should be able to freeform it. Raving Dead Gaming.
Raving
Ram!
Dead Gaming. Yeah,
And-
send me a DM. We'll talk. I can give you a little bit more of an in-depth about how to, avoid that sort of thing. But there's this thing in the writing community on Twitter where there are two types of writers, quote unquote. One's called a pantser, which is fly by the seat of your pants, and one's called a plotter, which is create an outline. The majority of pantsers always complain about writer's block. Plotters occasionally will, and the reason for that is the midpoint where you're dreaming. If you're not just dumping your thoughts onto the page as they come to you, you're going to get blocked up. You've got too many things in your head. That's the whole point of brain dumping, is to clear your mind out so that you can focus on what you need to do. And by doing the brain dump process, you look at the thing objectively because it's there on the screen in front of you. It's not a thought in your head. And in doing that, you can say, okay, this isn't going to work. You put it somewhere else. You move it to another document. You say, this could work, so I'm going to leave it here. And once you do that, you just flow in writing.
Raving Dead Gaming, you are in he has a different name in Gilded. You can private message Daniel in the Gilded.
Yeah, we've talked.
Okay. Really quickly, he says, I know how the chapter I'm working on ends. I can't seem to figure out how it starts. I've been writing and rewriting it.
Okay.
But that's something you guys can discuss.
Send me a message. We'll talk.
Christman, you were going to say something in the middle of that there.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
get gung-ho about writing.
Yeah. No, I would just add.
Every time he gets gung-ho.
I don't blame him. I would add an internal part of that too, in addition to what Daniel said, is sit down to write, assuming that you can, assuming that you're not going to be stuck. Assume, like going into, as you like walking up to the keyboard, like assume when you sit down that what you need to say in this part will come out.
Power of positive thinking.
I'm a big believer in that. Like there were times I sat and stared off into space, like wondering how I was going to connect these things. And like Daniel said, like I think about it, and then I start to write whatever I'm thinking, and all of a sudden it falls into place. But I never once sat there like, I don't know what to do. I'm stuck. I can't do this. Like I just assumed like the answer is here somewhere. I will find it if I just put the time in.
I had a song one time that and it's called Supernatural, and for people who've known me for years, my cousin probably remembers that song when I wrote it. And I, for the life of me, could not figure out a second verse. Never happened. It was an early song. I'd written songs in the middle. I could not figure out the second verse. Sitting there playing it, all of a sudden one night, something starts to come to me. In very rare instances, I've never had a song do that to me since. Ever. Never. If I put my mind to it, I didn't like that. I scribbled out, whatever. Dude, I got to a point where I could write a song in 45 minutes flat. Like, I just could. Hey, this is a cool guitar riff. Oh, hey, that sounds cool. Let's put some lyrics to it. Bam. Hour later, song. This song I could not figure out. And sometimes you have to learn more. And sometimes it's just the passage of time and knowledge needed. But there is no way that anybody here on this panel could know that for you. That's a you thing, right? That's a you thing. And I don't know if there's a way to work through that, but
I call it the 10-minute rule.
Right.
It's basically anything you do, you can apply this to your entire life. I do it all the time. Something you don't want to do if you're like having that negative feeling, do it for 10 minutes. Even if you don't want to, just do it for 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
If by the 10-minute mark, you still don't feel positively about doing it, put it down. Wait until tomorrow. Try again. But usually after 10 minutes, you're in. Your mind has now processed what needs to happen, and you've aligned everything in your brain.
Yeah, that's good.
So yeah, I call it the 10-minute rule.
That's pretty good. I like that.
Yeah, that's good.
I like that. JVP Music. For
JVP.
$5. JVP, dude. Another musician. Sorry I'm late, Canadian. And I enjoyed the song Corpus. Hail, you crazy mother. Oh, he bleeped it out. I'll say it. Crazy motherfuckers. Yes. Oh, dude.
Hail, sir.
Dude, like JVP does some seriously good shit, man. Every musician I have in my Gilded they're just unbelievably talented. It's retarded. And they're all disciplined in different areas. And I'm just like, oh. And they're like, dude, it doesn't sound right to me. I just threw it together in my basement. I'm like, I can't do that. I cannot record anything that I do and have any production quality behind it. God, I would love to, but it's just, I don't have that knowledge. I don't.
Ruthless 2 is coming along, man, and he's about to hand me the script to work on, so I'm excited. It's gonna be amazing.
Raving Dad Gaming, this is just a chat. This is not a super chat, but he just says name of the book for when it comes out. What's the name of the book when it comes out?
Twins of Fate, Purgeborn.
Twins of Fate, Purgeborn.
Yep.
All right, Twins of Fate, Purgeborn. So remember that, guys. This live stream will be up live on this channel for at least the next week. Then once it's taken down from this channel, it will not disappear forever. It goes over to the ADWC replay channel because YouTube is gay and won't let me keep my live streams up.
Don't worry, folks. As soon as he's ready, I'll be shouting it constantly.
Dude, that's not a lie. Like,
dude, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that, man.
And then we'll get this one. This is the last chat of the night. This is from my lovely wife, who I am going to make this announcement next Wednesday night. We will be celebrating 13 years.
Yeah.
13 years together, 10 years married, and her 32nd birthday. And she will be joining us for Comic Shop Wednesday. So it might be a little bit of a different format, being that it's our anniversary, but I will read this chat for my wife. She says, all right, I'll be a serious wife. Royce, I am so damn proud of you and the community you're helping create and these incredible men and women at your side, building everything up the way you are. Thank you, my love.
Amen.
And with that being said, gentlemen, take it away. Do your final shills this evening for where we can find you and what you are working on. Jarrod, you go first.
You can find me on Twitter at Jarrod Christman. Yeah, like back in 2008, nobody knew there was going to be like cool catchphrases and handles. So I just put my name down, and I just want to change it now. So it's at Jarrod Christman on Twitter, at We Are Missouri Breaks on Instagram and YouTube. I have some behind the scenes on my YouTube channel. I have the Missouri Breaks YouTube channel is at We Are Missouri Breaks. There are some behind the scenes videos up there of the filming for Midnight Montgomery. Those are, we have Rumble. I have not been able to figure out how to crack discoverability on Rumble yet. But we will be, everything we post on YouTube will end up on Rumble. And yeah, dude, if you have ideas, like, dude, hit me up. I'm all ears. And hopefully I have some really sweet footage to show you guys here soon.
Dude, I'm fucking excited for it, man. I am. I won't say that. I won't say that here because I don't want to commit to something I can't yet. But I'll tell you guys backstage because we're gonna do that thing. Mr. Daniel P. Riley, good sir. Better fucking do it. I swear to holy hell.
This right here.
Okay, he's doing it.
This right here, and many more things are now on my whimsyland.org merch shop. So that has been on my Twitter, which is at Mr. DP Riley. You can reach out to me. My DMs are open. Ask me questions. Ask for the link, whatever you want. All of my books, as everybody no doubt knows at this point, are available on Amazon and anywhere books are sold usually. The G Sedai manga, which is going to encompass chapter 1 and 2 of the first book, is just about finished. So I'm thinking, hopefully, if we can get it done, I'll be processing for printing and everything in November, and then starting to fund my comic campaign, which is that particular version of the comic print is not going to be what's available in demand. This is special edition. You know, when it's done, it's over. They will not be happening again in that format. So I look forward to it.
That pisses me off because I actually have to.
Oh crap! I forgot to. I'm sorry.
No,
No.
Stop sounding
Reshow.
Yeah, if you like that film, if you like the trailer and you want to help out, you can find us at givesandgo.com/ We Are Missouri Breaks. It's at the end of each of the song trailers on my pinned comment or my pinned post on X or Twitter or whatever it is now.
I call it
Twix,
Twix.
as calls it.
I call it Twix. Twitter plus X equals Twix.
Yeah, the more help we can get,
just
the
like
better.
the angry barking noises of DMX. So.
Make beer mugs, shot glasses, and cigar cases, Royce. You can get pint glasses in the I actually have to. You can get pint glasses. Just go over to the Teespring store here. I'll post that link for you.
Yep.
That was for $2. But yeah, if you guys want a pint glass, I will. I started slow, just some T-shirts and things like that, and I got to clean up the store. I was not able to find the Gifts and Go because I suck at searching things, but I do want to try to find that and drop that link. Rising Tide, found it. Found it. All right, givesandgo.com/Missouri Breaks. More designs need more. Yes, I have more designs. I'm just not there. Oh, that's my wife.
Just so you guys know, at some point, probably next week, I will be adding a very special piece of merch to my store. That's a Royce troll.
I hate you.
It is literally a multicolored design that is goats, bros, hoes.
That's actually, yeah, goats over bros, bros over hoes. That's how it goes.
It'll be right.
Yep.
It'll be sold right beside the Shalar pens.
Yes, we'll get there. We'll get there.
How did I get here? I was at a fine place in life, and then I started a YouTube channel. What the hell?
And grew a community and invited me on to be your co-host.
That was Richard's fault.
Comedy of errors, my friend. Comedy of errors.
Dude, Jarrod, man, thank you so much. Dude, just holy crap, man.
Thank you, man. This has been amazing.
Dude,
I love talking to Jarrod.
Dude,
Dude, anytime, man. Anytime. This is an honor, man. I love it.
Dude, yeah, no, it's gonna be a thing. It's gonna be a thing. When you launch, we gotta have you back, man. Let us know like a month ahead of time, month and a half ahead of time.
Gotcha.
Like, dude, gotta have you back. Gotta have you back to talk about this, seriously. And then
and the deep dive into Twins of Fate, man.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a thing. We're absolutely gonna do that.
Dude, thanks you guys so much.
Dude, this was an unbelievable episode. I mean, premieres of music videos, talking about the movie that you're doing, potentially setting up a private, screening in the Gilded, specifically for the Gilded members. I'm so down, dude.
Oh yeah, we're doing it, man.
Dude, I would love that. That would be something that I would be able to give to my my Gilded that like I've been wanting to give them stuff and like dude,
Power
just-
of the Iron Age.
That's right.
It is, man. It is, man. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for tuning in to Iron Age Nights. I will see you all on Sunday Coffee. And until next time, cheers, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Love you guys.
Aw.